Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing this fun? Well, for me, it's morning. I don't know about you guys, but hello, hello. Thank you all for stopping by. Wasn't expecting your stream so early today. Well, I got to react to the live stream that's going to come out soon. It's coming out in like 30 minutes, and I got to, well, for me, it's like 8 a.m., so. Big fan? Well, thank you, Hectagon. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? Everybody excited? Hello, Jacobson. Hello, hello, everybody. How you doing? I'm doing good. Doing very good. Little just woke up not too long ago. Having my breakfast. Making sure I got everything set up for this. You have like 6 a.m., don't you? It's like 7:30. It's gonna go live at 8 a.m. for me, so this is about the time I get up normally, but you guys normally don't see me this early on in the morning. I feel like my light's extra bright today. What's going on with that? Set it to the warmer color. That's better. A little bit. So how's everybody's morning going? Or afternoon, or night, whatever it is. Sorry, I want to talk kind of low because my wife is still trying to sleep in the other room. Do I eat rocks for breakfast? I mean, when I eat Captain Crunch, kind of. That's basically what it is. We're just going to be chillaxing for a little bit while we wait for the stream to actually get started. I have it pulled up and ready, so. Is everybody excited to see all of their new features added and seeing what's coming in season 5, as well as some other stuff as well? Rock and stone, indeed. Indeed. So I want to ask you guys something. Have you guys seen or heard anything about this new game that just got like announced? I think it was like a week ago called Jump Ship. I think it went over by a different name a while ago, but then they recently changed the name of it, I guess for promotional reasons or whatever. But, like, it looks really good. I'm just kind of small talking right now. Hang on, can I? Nope. Hold on. Do that. Yeah, this. I saw this like a week ago or so, and it actually looked pretty cool. It's kind of like a mixture of like Sea of Thieves meets Left 4 Dead meets like Void Crew almost. But that's actually kind of cool. But I just thought that was a really cool thing. I'm looking forward to it. Rock and Stone ain't coming home. Yep. Hello, chat. Rockbox is being removed is great. Yeah, a lot of people are probably going to be very happy that Rockbox is being removed. And once the stream gets started and we start watching, I'm going to turn off ads for the duration of the stream. At least I'm going to try to. That way nothing gets interrupted. So that way you guys don't have to worry about any ads interrupting the stream while you watch. So because I don't think I can do that. I hope they announce boy made armor for. I can't imagine that's going to be something that's going to be added in, but I don't. Who knows? You never know. They're adding new dance moves, so I suppose anything could happen. When does the stream start? At 8 a.m. Well, in about here. Let me actually just pull it up now. That way I can. There you go. There it is. There. It's gonna start in about 20 minutes ish. So exciting. Very exciting. So actually, wait. Let's see here. They went over. I know they released. Okay, so here we have. So here's the full agenda of what they're going to be talking about, right? So we have the welcome. It's only going to be for about 10 minutes, where Soren and Mikkel are going to be, giving their spiel, as they always do. Um, is the Helldivers overlap still a thing? It may be. I have no idea. I didn't know that was something that was on the table. They might announce that today. Who knows? They're going to talk about Survivor first, then Spell Rogue, Dino Lords, the living map for Rogue Core. So pretty much for the first, at least they're pretty well aware that like they're only the first like 40 minutes of the stream is pretty much everything non uh DRG related, and then everything else after that is just going to be all DRG stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. So at least we know. I'm not saying that the other projects aren't cool. How long do I think this video will be? Well, the stream their stream is going to be about 2 hours because it starts at 1400 and they're wrapping it up at 1600, which would be like 10 o'clock for us. So it's going to be about a 2 hour stream. Um, for my end, I don't know, depending on how I feel afterwards, I might, after we get done with this, I might do some open lobby DRG just to fill the time. Depending on how much information is released, I might also just want to try to make a video very quickly, or at least try to get something for Friday, um, which is something I might want to end up doing. Um, it just really depends on how much information they dump. I imagine I am going to be doing that. It just really depends, either just like a quick reaction video or like a more in-depth breakdown per se. I just realized something. Why don't I do this with I feel like this would be, since I always have. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Mm, hmm, no idea why it's not doing that. I'm excited though. I'm very excited to see how this is gonna go. I don't know if they're gonna give us everything that's gonna happen with season 5, but I imagine they're going to give us a lot of rogue core stuff too, because I imagine a lot of people finally have questions about that. Have you tried DRG with mods? Yes, I have. I have tried with several different mods. I've tried. I typically play with some smaller, not as like hyper impactful mods that just sort of make the game a little easier, like some stat tracking or like damage numbers or stuff like that. Actually, I can show you very quickly while keeping this thing up what mods I have installed. Give me a second. Just watch a little. Oh, is Sniz streaming this too? I didn't know he was streaming this. Oh, he is. God, watching him just makes me realize I need to get a much better webcam. I need to get a much better one. Okay, so let me see here. Go over here. Turn chat for right now. There we go. So let's see. What are the mods I have? I have the pickaxe bonk sound effect. I have the DRG lib. I'm not quite. I think that's for the mod loading. I have brighter objects. This makes it so that way the secondary objects, um, like the enter, not the enter pearls, the like the secondary objective stuff. So like blue caps, apoca bloom makes them a lot brighter, so you can see them a lot better. Um, Better visibility if you have Steve. Damage text. This is the thing that makes the damage numbers pop up when I actually do damage, which is great. Weapon heat crosshair. Although this one hasn't been working properly lately. This lets you have a visual indication of like heat-based weapons when they're about to overheat. So if you're using like the shard diffractor or adjusting that real quick. Shard diffractor or like the wave cooker or anything like that. You can do that as well. Sorry about that. Then I have live mission stat tracker. This just tells you like how many kills, how many resources, how many revives, and how many downs you've gotten like throughout the course of a mission. Just gives you a chance. Uh, Health and shield number. This just gives you an actual number indication for your health and shields to show how much you have. Platform placement preview. This lets you see if you're playing engineer the where your platform's going to land. It gives you like a little hologram. Uh, Better explosion radius indicator. This is for the driller's C4, basically. These are a lot of things I use for when I'm making videos, like the custom difficulty, sandbox utility, viable missions. I use a lot of these when I'm doing videos. Uh, these are ones I've downloaded when I've had to join other players. Ammo percentages. It actually brings your ammo into a percentage, which is really, really nice. This makes a outline around Doretta's head when you bring up the scanner, which is incredibly useful. And what is, oh, this is like a different visual effect for the gunner's energy shield. Just makes it look different. I think it looks cool. And there's this, which gives you like a little duration for how long Iron Will lasts. Combined resources is better than live stat tracker. Oh, I've heard that one. I might try that one a little later. I do like this one, but I might try that one too. And then I have like a bunch of really weird ones. I'm lurking on this stream as well. Do you use quick reload? Didn't I don't know. I don't think I have that one. It's like skipping reload animations. Really? Interesting. I'm gonna bring back this one.
Haven't had a new mission since, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, we don't have that much more time left. We only have about 12 minutes before things start to go off the rails. Maybe leave a like on the stream. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty pleased if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the stream. Be very much appreciative. One second, I'll come back to that in just a moment. How's it going? It's going pretty good. Just waiting for the stream to start, enjoying life, hanging out with you guys. Subscribe or Carl would not be proud of you. Absolutely. Mm. Is everybody excited and ready to go? I'm gonna bring it back up shortly. Bada big. Oh, wrong one. That's the stream analytics. You guys don't need to see that. Season 5 will be better than all previous seasons. I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so. I definitely think I think it has the potential to be, especially with the lukewarm reaction that season 5 or season 4 had. It's I think it's definitely safe to say that season 5 is going to be much better. Let's let's commit to the stream here as well. I had to see the Engineer's Grenade Launcher secondary weapon series. To see the Engineer's Grenade Launcher. Oh, like in the secondaries? Yeah, that's on my list. That's on my list, absolutely. It's weird because with that series, like those particular videos are like hit or miss because it's really just dependent on the popularity of the secondary. Like, you have ones that do really well, like I'm trying to think, like quickly, hastily going through the ones I have right now. Which ones did very, very well? Like all the primary ones have done relatively well for right now, with the exception of, a couple of them, but oh. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to look at this later. Here we go. Can you guys hear it? Is it coming pretty well? This is recording the current MO in Helldivers 2. I figured it would check out what is going on in the Dwarven Bros. Looking forward to seeing what's new content. Thank you for coming by. Awesome sauce. Let me know if the audio needs to go up or down, by the way, guys. Oh, also, let me actually adjust. Oop. Oops. Ah. Let me adjust, make it so that way ads are turned off. That way you guys don't have to. Or I'll at least make them. I'll make them very conservative. That way they don't pop up too much. There we go. We're almost there, boys. Also, read the description of their stream. Please note that times are approximate. Welcome. Q&A time at the end. That's a wrap. Thank you for the close down for the stream and go home. There's info. Oh, okay, hold on. So Dino Lords, North will zoom out and look at ghost ships. Longer term roadmap for Rogue Core, including Deep Rock Galactic and all ghost ship loving titles. Mike Nicole and just learning new details about what's coming to season 5, including some screenshots. Okay. Okay. We got some stuff going on here. Dum, 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 dum. All right. Well, we're almost there. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. You guys let me know if the volume is too high or too low or anything like that. I really hope we get to see what these new enemies are going to be, because I know that they teased and said that we're going to get new enemies, but they haven't actually like fully said exactly what it is that we're getting, and I am very much interested to see what that's gonna be. Since I still have a few minutes, I will be right back. I'm gonna go get a beverage. I have returned. Is all the stuff getting announced? I mean, a lot of this has already been announced. There's just more details they're adding for it. What are your 3 wishes for new season? I mean, most of it has already happened. New mission type. I would love to see a new biome, but I know that that's kind of a tall order. Trying to think what my 3rd wish would be. I want to see like an endless mode deep dive. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really, really cool. Like just a deep dive where you just keep going and it gets harder and harder and harder. And you just keep going from there. I think that'd be great. Definitely going to be interesting to say the least. That's my Discord popping off. Can we get some rocking and the stoning in the chat to let it go, to let us roll into this? Did you know the elevator from the lobby used the same sound effect as Lego Batman? Oh, that makes sense, actually. I believe it 100%. That's funny. Mushroom, yes. What season did I start on? So that's an interesting question. I took a little bit of a breather from this game a while back. Like, I started playing this game and I didn't really get into it until probably shortly after season one. After season one came out was when I started playing. That's why season one I hold in such high regards, because I just thought it was so cool. I took a little bit of a breather though during the time of season two ish, and then I came back midway through season three. And then I've been playing ever since. Well, I'm gonna do this just ever so slightly. These over here. There we go. That way there is that way there is no issues whatsoever. What is this? Oh, that's the GX corner. I don't know why that's a thing. Wait, is gold rock or stone? I believe it's a mineral. I believe it's not either one of those things. I believe it's considered a mineral or a resource. One minute left. Here we go, people. I stopped DRG for a few months playing Helldivers, reminded me of DRG and I began to miss it. Reinstalled it and now rocking and stoning again. Absolutely fantastic. We're happy to have you back. It's actually metal. Is it possible to put down Bosco as a dependent of my texture? Maybe. I don't know. Jemmy time, absolutely. Top 3 minerals in DRG: Croppa, Bismore, and Magnite. Croppa because I think it's the best. I like the color combination. Bismore because I think it's just fun to say. And Magnite just because I think it's cool. I think the biomes that it comes in are cool. Oh, here we go. All right.
Hello.
There they are.
And welcome to Ghost Ship Games on the horizon.
Yet another live stream from the office of
Let me know if it's too high, too low.
From our
It's
garage
good.
office. And we have a full program for you today with
a lot of really cool things that we're going to talk about and
I want
show
that coil gun.
But before we go to the agenda, I think we should talk a little bit about our office because we're actually moving office, which is something that is part of what we have attention on right now. It's not a small thing to move office when you are 40
Turned it
people,
up.
as we
There
reached
are
now.
two things basically that
How's
is
that? Is that
filling
better?
up our schedule right now, and obviously
That's
it
maxed
is
out.
season 5.
Yes.
And then the fact that we are moving office.
Yeah, and I remember when we moved the first time, just after we had released early access, we were like 18 people, 16 or something, and I think I arranged most of that on my own. I'm not sure how I did
that was
that.
back in the days.
Everything was much simpler.
Yeah. So basically, you guys out there obviously don't know how our office is looking or anything. It's a super nice office that we have right now. It is suitable for 20-25 people, and we are a little under 40 people right now. So obviously we are sitting very, very tight right now.
Too tight.
Yeah, and we realize it's not sustainable for us, so we've been looking for a new office.
And actually, it's taken almost a year to find something that is still quite different from what we have now because we're moving up in size, so it cannot be the same. We thought we'd just share a bit with you with a few images. Clearly, it's not been decorated or anything, so it looks a bit bare. But this is multiple floors, like 3 floors. 2 of them will be production floors, and then the top floor will be where we have this is the top floor where we have lounge and cantina and roof terrace. And that's gonna be a very different thing for us, moving into much bigger premise, and a little bit scary as well, right? Because
it is, and I think this is like, I mean, you and I have been part of different companies, right?
Yeah.
We have tried this of moving, and keeping your culture is always something that is a concern, and the place, the environment that you are working in is part of the culture, right? So that we want that to move with us when we move.
Yes.
So
Of
that's
course,
going to be exciting.
the people, all our lovely employees are moving with us, and that's the key part of the culture. But we still need to
Definitely.
make sure that the environment here is
Yeah.
something we can live and thrive in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's gonna happen
But-
after summer vacation, as it is planned right now, and we hope that plan really sticks.
So season 5 out of the way, and then we're moving.
Yes.
And then we'll be ready for a fresh start on the other side of summer vacation.
More space.
But
for
maybe
them
we
to
should
make more
take a look
stuff.
at the agenda for today, because we have at least 2 hours here in front of us with
Yes.
lots of points. And we'll start by focusing on the external productions that are published by Ghost Ship Publishing. So we have 3 of those, each with a call in to the developers that will tell
Yes.
about their early access release for Survivor and Spell Rogue, and their current development for Dino Lords.
Yes, very interesting. And then we will try to give you an overview of everything that is Ghost Ship Games Publishing, and present like a living roadmap for all the activities that we have, all the games that we are publishing, and our internal production. And then I guess we'll come to a point that a lot of you is actually waiting for, which will be Mike and I. Mike, the lead designer, game designer on Deep Rock, and I, as the game director, will take you through a lot of details about what season 5 is all about.
I heard some of your rehearsals, you and Mike, yesterday, and it's it's super meaty. There's a lot of cool details, and it won't even be all of it, right? But
It won't even be all of it. No, we
no.
have cherry picked something.
So that's the program for today, and hopefully you'll stick with us throughout the afternoon or whatever time it is. I guess some of you are up very early out there on the other side of the globe.
Here it's afternoon. So
here in Denmark, it's a cold, sunny afternoon. Yeah, it's supposed to be spring here in Denmark. It's waiting a little bit on that.
Supposed to. We're still waiting, but yeah.
Right there with you.
All right, but I don't know, guys, if we have Mark and Alex here behind us controlling all the technical parts, and I think I got a thumb up, and I think we are ready for
that coil gun
our
so
first
badly right now.
developer interview.
Yeah,
that's gonna be with
Funday
Games and Anders, who is the game director from Funday Games, and we'll just take a while to switch over and get him
Survivor
to join the stream.
Yeah, Anders is just returning from visiting the Reboot conference in Dubrovnik in Croatia, but he's home now, and will join our stream here for a small chat about how it's been with Funday Games since we released the Deep Rock Survivor.
Yeah, so,
hello, Anders.
Oh, Anders, and welcome to the On the Horizon stream. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. How are you guys? Are you doing good?
We're doing good, and excited about today's On the Horizon and all the things that we'll go through.
Yeah, it's a crazy program you're running through.
Yeah.
It is. I hope you had some good days in Croatia and with the
amazing days in Croatia. Listening to the Game of Thrones theme and talking to a lot of people who played our game.
Oh, that's good to hear. It's definitely a game that's been played by a lot of people in the industry, at least. Also know you fans out there have played it. I have more than 1 million sold units, but it's something people in the industry have noted that we released this little game. Tell us a little bit about this, Anders. How has it been to release Deep Rock Survivor?
It's been crazy. Funday is actually a relatively old company. It's 13 years old, and this is like our first success of this size. So it's just been so much interest from all over the place, from your community, from new players, from the industry. It's just been overwhelming, but in a positive way. We suddenly have a lot of positive problems, which is amazing.
That's cool. How was it actually? I mean, we were all super excited about the launch, right? And to see how it would actually go. So can you try to put some words into how it was at Funday Games when we launched the game? I mean, were people excited?
We were really excited. It was actually
it's possible.
We were done in a relatively good amount of time, so the build was already ready the day before, which is not normal. We had a relatively calm day launching the game. We had a live stream together, you guys, looking at the first streamers playing, looking at the numbers. And then, as you remember, Steam had some issues relatively short time
A
after launch.
small hiccup. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a small hiccup where suddenly all the store stopped working, and of course that is the last thing you want to happen on launch day.
I think Søren was just saying, "Oh my God, CCU is rising," and then nobody could download the game.
No,
And then the concurrent users went down again.
but
I wouldn't say we were panicking. We were running around trying to figure out, and then Steam just solved itself. And then at some point we saw the first numbers coming in, and they were like 3 or 4x what we had even hoped for.
Wow.
And that was just crazy. That
Yeah,
was
awesome.
we tried to guess a bit right in the morning.
we were trying a little bit to guess.
yeah.
And, we were way off. Luckily, I would say. And then we were just watching the first streamers play the game for like 8 hours straight, having beers and pizza and enjoying ourselves. And
what surprised you the most about launching an early access game like Survivor?
What surprised me the most?
Or were you totally prepared and everything was as expected?
I was totally prepared. Yeah, I've done this 100 times before. No.
Opium.
I would say that
Opium.
the amount of feedback and input we got on the Discord server specifically in a very short amount of time, it just grew like at a really rapid pace. And
that's the Deep Rock Galactic community for you there.
They are active, and we wanted to, we were like, yeah, we're gonna read all the feedback, and you gotta like engage with the community, and it just went out of control very fast. So that surprised us. We had to, quickly do some modding and have some community managers on. But the power of the community was quite overwhelming.
Actually, there was another thing that I thought about when we launched that I hadn't foreseen. There was many things I hadn't foreseen, but one thing was how it was actually very positively picked up by streamers. We saw a lot of streamers playing the game, playing it on Twitch, share on YouTube, and sharing content on it. Yeah. And that is something that I think was really cool and very different from Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic has never been very big on Twitch. Comparable. But I mean, in hindsight, I can totally see why, because Deep Rock Survivor is such an entertaining game to watch people play, and you can sit and like take that upgrade, that upgrade. No, go for the right.
Yeah, that was crazy. There was so many streamers. At one point, there was almost there was way more people watching on streams than actually playing the game, and we saw.
That's awesome. That's really great.
We got so much feedback from the streamers because they're like really engaged players, right? So they really quickly get to like the meat of the game. We did know that it was very streamable because every Thursday for the last year before launching, we played it in the office together, and every time we ended up spending like 2 hours just watching someone play instead of actually play testing. We always forgot what we were actually looking at. We're like, I even played it this morning actually, playing out.
It is one of those very like mindlessly,
we can talk a little bit about. So I tried it this morning, and we're just playing, and suddenly an hour or 2 hours pass by. So it is very streamable.
What can we expect from update 2?
Update 2 is primarily about, it has like 3 big components. We are putting in some new enemies. I can tell you that we are adding the Hoolie Hoarder, which will be. I found him this morning, chased him down.
Hoolie Hoarder, cool.
And he dropped something on the ground that I could open. So I'm not going to spoil more about that. That was cool. We wanted to always. We only have the Dreadnought at the moment. We wanted to do more boss fights and more epic and varied boss fights. So we reworked the Dreadnought with some new abilities. And then we are maybe adding something new on top of that.
Cool. And when can we expect? When can we expect? When can we expect update 2?
Oh, in May.
In May. All right.
That's not that far.
That's the plan. And then we did a lot of rebalancing of the game, and the community is just asking for more math all the time. I don't know why they're so hungry for math. So we're communicating a lot of the underlying systems in the next update as well. So there's a big like UI, UX overhaul.
I'm really looking forward to that because even me and Mikkel, we were a bit surprised about the actual math behind some of the calculations, right?
And
hey, why don't I know that? I need to know that as a player.
We're adding some new stuff as well. So we're adding some new level up cards as well. So you can now like add potency to your stacks in your like dot. If you're doing like a poison build, something you can
Bullet.
actually increase the amount of
Bullet
damage
heaven.
times stacks you can do. So there's new stuff in level ups as well as overclocks as well as new enemies. So it's a meaty big
Nice.
update, I would say.
Cool. I can tell you that we have some super fans here at the office that are eagerly awaiting more content.
Yeah, well, I don't know
we have one programmer who was like, he just completed all the achievements and all the biome challenges, so he is completely ready for more.
If he wants to, he can get early access.
Ooh.
Oh.
Early access. Yeah. And just going back to the launch, you also did something which annoyed us a little bit, right? The Deep Rock Survivor beat Deep Rock Galactic CCU.
Yeah,
That was not very nice.
How do you feel about that, Anders? Because I know how I feel.
I felt really good about that, and it also allowed us to call Deep Rock Galactic the prequel to our game, which is a good place to be. Yeah, that was crazy. It was above 50,000 CCU was insanely high a few days after launch. So yeah, and you guys have never even been close to that, right?
I think for 40 something.
46, I think actually is our max CCU.
It's not that far away.
Your curve is all the way around, right? It started out a little bit modestly and then increased. Ours was really high in the beginning, but it was obviously only because we had your like amazing game to build on. So
maybe we'll beat you at season 5. So that's for all you out there. Get all your friends to play season 5 so we can beat.
So we're aiming to put out a big update right before season 5, so you can't do that.
So talking about updates, is there something you can? I mean, just say no if you don't feel ready for it. But I mean, can you talk about more updates coming? Do you have more plans?
Well, we have a lot of plans. I'm not going to announce co-op if that's what you're fishing for, but
no,
we want this game to be a really big game. Actually, we want it to be bigger than traditional survivor games are. So we're also looking a lot at what you did with seasons and a lot of deep systems to engage with. So we want this to transcend the survivor genre, and the first big attempt at this is coming this summer in update 3, which we're already working on behind the scenes. It's a design heavy update, so we're spending our time really trying to get into the core of what we want to do. But stay tuned for that. It's gonna change the landscape of survival games forever.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Bold claim.
It also sounds a little bit like a politician answer where you try to avoid actually saying anything.
I don't want to spoil it.
Besides, it's cool.
No road core announcement? That's later, Chad.
it's
Don't
gonna
worry.
be
We're going to talk about that later.
Then at some point,
I'm sure it will.
At some point in the future, you're going to launch this
all
as
the
a
DRG
1.0
stuff's going to be much
done.
later on.
or
We're
is
doing
it?
all the smaller ones first, and then they're going to give us the big stuff.
No, I don't think it will be done. I think we need to, we want to do updates after the 1.0, do DLCs, all the stuff you've done as well.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of good years in this game to come, even after 1.0. So in our minds at Fun Day, we expect to work on this for the foreseeable future and even further. So, yeah, no reason to stop when the game is so successful, right?
No, for sure. But I mean, 1.0 we'll come back to that later in the roadmap. But we're talking next year, sometimes, right? So at least
that's a plan.
It's not going to happen this year. No. That's for sure. But let's see how stuff goes.
It's when the game is ready, right? It's not.
I'm just saying this because I remember that with Deep Rock Galactic, we were actually imagining that we were launching a year earlier than we were with Deep Rock Galactic. So we actually spent 1 year more in development before we launched into early access. So 1.0.
Yeah. And of course, it's a kind of a what's the definition of 1.0, right? So it already feels like there's a lot of finished content in this, but of course you want more, right? And you just some updates coming on this
to experiment in early access, right? We can do stuff, engage with the community in a more free way now, which is super nice.
And I think there's 2 other points, right? That is that the system is almost endlessly expandable. Right, the game foundation you have with Deep Rock Survivor, right? I mean, we can see it develop in so many directions.
That's why the politician's answer is actually because we just have so many ways we want to go that we want to take it one step at a time. The first big step will come this summer, and then from there we'll learn and talk with the community and see where we'll take it. But it's definitely, we can do much more with the content we already have. That's
super cool.
Yes, I have,
That's
channel.
the
I made a
secret
whole
answer.
video about the earlier
Are you ready for a
version of
community question?
ERG.
Yes.
It's fun.
Nice.
It's definitely
'Cause,
different.
I'm
what we have now.
assisted by Aaron and Jacob at the sidelines who are grabbing questions from the community directly. And I have one here, speaking of big steps. Is the game coming to console?
Oh, is the developer supposed to answer that or the publisher?
Okay, then the honest answer is that right now we have the game in early access on Steam, and I am pretty sure we are not looking at consoles before we go 1.0. So that is a little bit far out in the future. So let's see. But obviously we want Deep Rock Survivor to be in the hands of so many players as possible, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I
makes
guess
sense.
some of you played it on the Steam Deck, right? Where it plays excellently. So there's a bright future for getting Deep Rock Survivor out on many more platforms. But one step at a time, and we've
killing
learned
if
that
they release it
at
on
Ghost
other
Ship that it's
platforms.
really nice to take this really literally one platform at a time to make sure that you do it right.
Yeah.
And I think we'll take some of the same routes here.
I mean, suddenly, if you have multiple platforms out, you're suddenly spending time actually not on making the game better, but actually making it run on different platforms, and that is the gamers are not benefiting from that.
Slows down everything.
On the platform.
Yeah.
Cool. We have some questions from specifically the people over on Twitch. Do you have any plans for a Twitch integration or a crowd control for survivors?
Yes. Plans, as in we've talked a lot about it, and we see a
That'd be
huge
hilarious.
opportunity in doing that.
That'd be awesome
We
if
just
they added
have
that.
so much other stuff we want to do first, so it's just been like down prioritized. But there's definitely like an opportunity to do like something where the Twitch chat decides the next update or level up, which would be super fun. We just, in due time. I'm not promising it will come in soon, but it's definitely on the roadmap. It would be super fun.
Nice. All right, and the
Fair
final
enough.
question. Was it helpful that you could use the assets from the 3D game for Survivor? A 3D game meaning the first-person game, I assume, because...
Oh, the prequel? Yeah.
The prequel.
It was definitely we did all the assets from ground up here. So we got some 3D materials from Deep Rock Galactic, but it's a very different visual style made for a first-person shooter in a different game engine. So everything is reworked and remade for Survivor. But that said, obviously it was a big help having like the design of all the aliens and so on in place. So our artists could just interpret and create instead of like creating a whole universe. Same
goes for the game mechanics, right?
Sorry?
I'm just saying the same goes for the game mechanics, right? I mean, we knew that we wanted a game that had some kind of the same flavor as Deep Rock Galactic or Elements, but just in a survivor-like game, right? So we needed to find a smart way to convert Deep Rock Galactic, the 3D game, into Deep Rock Galactic, the 2D game.
It's a 3D game.
Yes.
2.5
semantics.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
All right, but I think maybe that was it.
Thanks.
Do you have any final comments?
No. I just want to say thank you to you for lending us your IP, and thank you to the community and all the players. And right now, the median playtime is more than 10 hours. We expect that to hit way more when we're done. We want players to be able to play this a lot. That's like our vision. So lots of way to play it. That's what we want.
Thank you, Anders, and thanks for all the work and the
a lot more
fantastic
time
job
into
you've done with
Survivor.
this.
We
You treated our
I
IP
just haven't
very
played
well.
enough of it.
Oh,
You're taking well care of it.
it's been fun.
Yeah.
All right.
See you, Anders.
Take care and have a fun stream.
That was Anders from Fun Day Games.
Yes.
Worked with his team on Deep Rock Survivor for clocking in on a year and a half now, closer to 2 years in towards the
Since
end.
we started talking about it.
Yeah,
and
since we
got
started
the
talking
idea
about
that,
it, but the actual work is actually quite short time from conception to getting it out. But that's what we believe in. We want games to come out to community in the hands of you, so we can get the feedback. and that will also be part of the topic for
Don't even have Survivor.
our
It's a
next
good game.
visit
Should pick
from
it up.
Yes.
It's a lot of
Guidelight
fun.
Games.
The developers of Spellrogue.
Yes.
Ooh,
So the
I
card
still
battler
need to
that
get.
we
I still
released
need to get this 'cause
just
this looks
prior
so much fun.
to
2 days. 2 days
Yeah.
before Survivor.
Yes. And welcome to
And
you,
I still
Torbjørn.
need to get this because this looks so
Hello.
much fun.
One of the 2 developers.
It's half of the team of Guidelight.
It's only
But
2
is it-
devs.
It's the good half, right?
Wow.
Let's say that.
I think no. Tim, who is the artist, this or art director, is the other half, and he's not here. But hi, Tim, if you're watching. So how's it going, Torbjørn? I mean, it has been almost like 2.5 months since we launched Spellrogue into early access, and how are you feeling? How's it going?
Feeling pretty good. It's been going really well. The game has had a great reception, and I don't know, people like the game. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. We still have a lot of
But-
things we want to do, but yeah, it's very positive. We're in early access, so we have time to still do some crazy changes that we want to do with the game. So yeah.
How was the launch? How was that experience? How did you feel at that point?
Like we were so nervous about if anyone would actually buy the game, right? So we had no idea how it actually would turn out. But yeah, it ended up like being going better than we expected. So we're really happy about the initial launch.
I mean, as publishers of Spellrogue, I'm going to say we are super happy with the
Actually,
launch, and I
of,
think
yeah.
we have got I think you've got like a steady CCU on the game and a good amount of fans out there playing Spellrogue. So that has been really cool, I think.
Yeah, and of course, when you release a game, you set expectations accordingly to where the game is, right? And Spellrogue we knew that from the wish list and all that it was in a different place than Deep Rock Survivor, for example.
Yeah, it was a bit unfair launching those games back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, unfair to you, Torbjørn.
It's good company.
That's how it ended up. But compared to that, we are very, very happy about the launch and the reception, and people just like it, right? And they get it. They get the core gameplay. So that's super cool.
That's been great.
And of course, you with the launch, your community has grown. How has it been working with also all the new players coming in?
It's been great just getting like a ton more feedback. To be fair as well, it has been a bit overwhelming with just like how much discussion there is about strategies and suggestions and everything. So previously we had this point of view we had to read everything and we had to track everything, but there's definitely some things we miss nowadays because there's simply too much going on. But we try to
channel. We don't need that kind of talk in here.
Read as much as possible and follow and answer people's questions. But
and I think, I mean, coming from the Deep Rock Galactic community and seeing the feedback on my work as a game director on Deep Rock, I think it is super motivating to get this feedback, right, and feel that the product that you have actually means something to people who are playing it, right? I mean, bad or good comments or criticisms to whatever. I mean, I still think that just knowing that your work actually means something to people, I think is just super motivating.
Yeah. And just seeing people come up with weird, strange builds that we had no idea would happen. Just
really getting Slay the Spire vibes. Yeah, it is similar to that a lot.
It's just so cool to follow.
Yeah. And so, can you put some words into how is this actually feeding into your work as like game designer on this, that you get all this feedback? I mean, can you use it? Can you interpret it and get it into the game?
Definitely. There's of course always a factor that like people might not like they have ideas for what they're after, but it might not be the most cost efficient or something that's actually realistic. And of course, we try to just like believe in ourselves and just like go with our gut with some of these design decisions. But of course,
I always tell myself I want to play
like,
this, but I also feel like I'd be so bad at it. But that's also why I want to play it, because I want to be so good at it.
We try to just but like our approach is just we want to make the game as good as possible, no matter what. So if it's listening to the community, if that makes it better, or if it's just like trying our own ideas that we really believe in, whatever it is that is.
Are there some things, Torbjørn, that have really surprised you, or feedback, or things that people wanted in the game that you never saw coming? Or
maybe not like super surprising things that I can think of, at least. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things that we kind of knew was issues with the game that people are pointing out, and yeah, there's things to improve with the game for sure.
It's always complicated, I think, with getting feedback, right? Because obviously you can, when you get a lot of feedback from the community, right, you can sort of like recognize, or you can, I mean, be told that there's a problem over here with the game, right? But then finding the right solution for that problem can be very complicated, because and it can be easy for community to say, oh, you should just do this and then everything will work, and it's like no, because then all of this over here will then fall apart, right?
Exactly.
And especially with a game like Spellrogue, I think it must be sort of like a card house of mechanics working together.
Yeah, it's hard to just change one thing without like affecting a ton of other.
But you have already changed some things or updated the game, right? You've done some balancing updates and added a new enemy.
Yes.
And now you're working on the next update.
Update 3.
Yes.
Just to point out, we did a ton of other things in the previous update. It wasn't just the enemy. We did a like huge overhaul of enemies and counters.
But then talk a little bit about update 2.
Sure. So the previous update we did, the main headline was just we have a new enemy. That's a really cool combat encounter. It gives you some new challenges. But we also we took a pass on all the enemies throughout the game. Try to make more combinations of enemies and just try to balance them, make them more interesting, give them more challenges that you have to overcome. That's the main.
Balancing has to be the hardest thing in game development.
I think that we try to do with enemies.
It's gotta be one of the hardest things to do.
Some of the strategies. So if you just like have one spell that it just kills everything, then we throw the Djinn in there that you have to have some. You have to have multiple spells. You have to like hit the illusions twice and get rid of them. So having different counters is just something we really try to prioritize. So I think we improved the enemies a lot in the last update, but there's still a lot of things we want to do still.
And that's some of those things are coming into update 3.
Actually, we're not focusing on enemies that much in update 3.
Okay.
So for update 3, what we are doing is we basically took a step back and try to reevaluate a lot of like the core mechanics of the game, a lot of the systems in the game that we feel like has some issues. There's some things that don't work as well as we wanted to. So we have really just done a ton of experimentation, a ton of brainstorm, a ton of experimentation the last couple of weeks. So it's things like we tried to rework the whole ritual system, how rituals work. We've done a bunch of map changes that we're trying out now. Separating artifacts and shards into different tiles, and just trying to make the math more interesting.
Game. That would be pretty cool.
So I have like more to choose from.
You're truly doing early access here, right? You're
really,
developing
really
the
cool.
game in front of the audience and getting in input and adjusting. And then when will update 3 land? Do you have any window on that?
Planning in the beginning of May. Middle of May.
Yeah, that's pretty soon.
May's going to be a big month.
Yeah. Oh, we also have a ton of things already that we are that is ready.
Cool.
There's still things that we are experimenting with. We might get into the build. We might have to postpone it or rethink it, whatever. But it's still the plan, and we just
May is gonna be. And I'm actually working on season 5, but I can see now
you won't have time.
Update Spellrogue and update for Survivor landing. It's just like and
we're hoping. I think there's going to be a lot of new. The gameplay it will change a fair amount, I think.
Cool. And if we look a little bit ahead and look at like after update 3, is there something that you are ready to talk about there, or is everything focused on update 3 right now?
Well, right now that's what we're spending a lot of time on. But we already have a few plans for future updates.
Mm.
So like one of the main things, of course, is we want to make a fourth wizard at some point.
Yeah, the air wizard.
The air wizard, exactly.
Yeah.
We need all those 4 elements.
Oh, you spoiled it. Shouldn't have said air wizard.
No, why? What are you doing?
Maybe it's the mud wizard. Oh, sorry.
It was a joke because the 3 other wizards are based on elements, and there are 4 elements, and not just 3. So
Yeah. It's been
obviously.
It's honestly been the plan for like the past 2 years or something. I've had that air wizard. It's been for a long time.
But I mean, we're already ahead of Slay the Spire there, right? They just launched. They were in early access with just 2.
Yeah. Then they had the third in early access. And then
they had the third. Yeah. So we already started with 3. Yeah.
Of course, you need to up your game, right?
Definitely. And we done it by 1.
We will in the future invent the 5th element. And
Exactly.
Interesting.
I love elements.
That's
we have it.
Okay. I was thinking more like time or something like that. I don't know if that's
that
an
could
element.
work as well. Yeah. This is turning into a design session. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do it.
Maybe we should turn it into a question session instead.
Let's do that, Mark.
Let's do that.
I have some
Smart.
questions from the community, Torbjørn. So, are you planning on adding new spell types?
Sure. That's definitely something that we have looked into. Also,
makes
not in this for this update actually, but I think we will postpone it for.
I definitely
for a bit.
plan on getting this
first of all,
game
we had
sometime
this
soon because it does look a lot of
idea.
fun.
We called it legendary spells in the roadmap.
It has that
But
little
it's more a
way to get
general
your
thing
brain
that we
going in a
wanna
certain
have,
way.
Like more and more like rare spells or better spells throughout the
New
game.
PC
Right
friends
now,
on top. You have
it's the same
plenty.
spells you get throughout the game. So you quickly finish your builds halfway through Act 2, maybe in the end Act 2. So the spell drafts that you get in Act 3 are usually not very useful. So it's something that we really wanna give more incentive actually to switching out your spells in the late game, and just having more combo potential, more crazy spells and effects.
Cool.
Yeah.
Some
So,
people have noticed some similarities to other games. So, with Spell Rogue, did you get any inspiration from games such as Dicey Dungeons or Slay the Spire?
Oh yeah, definitely. So
Aha,
basically, the
there it
whole
is.
game concept started with just we like the combat in Dicey Dungeons. Let's just try and take the core of that and see if we can just do something with it. And that was 4 years ago, so at this point. So, but yeah, it just slowly progressed over time. In the beginning, you had like 3-4 wizards that each had the dice and so on, and it just slowly evolved over time. And I think it was probably very affected by the fact that I had played 1,000 hours of Slay the Spire or something. So it's just naturally, whenever we were in doubt about some design, like maybe just let's see what Slay the Spire does. It works pretty well in that game, so let's just try to see. And then often it's just okay, that's better than what we have. Let's just go with that until we find a better idea. So yeah, it definitely has it's hugely inspired. But of course, there's also a ton of other roguelike games that we take inspiration from. In general, we try to just play a lot of different games in our genres and just see what the people do right. What can we learn from them?
Do you have
how
a
can we make the game better?
favorite, like, what's your favorite part of the game, or a part of the game that you're most happy about, personally?
Personally, I really like the fire mage that you see.
I'm like trying to follow what he's
stream right
doing
now.
in terms of these
he's
spells, and I'm
just-
like, he's doing
He has some
math
some
equations
interesting
in his
mechanics
head.
that I really like. So he has that thing of just rolling a ton of small dice and then using a lot of dice in one spell. You get like a huge effect.
Oh, I see. It's
he
like
has
the
concept
slimes from
countdown.
Minecraft. Like I think when you hit them a
spells that
certain
like
amount of
affect the
times,
countdown of
they
other spells. So you can end up
split,
in
right?
situations where
Is that what
like one
happens?
spell triggers the next spell, then that triggers a third spell.
if it goes
just
to
have these
30 and then
really
he
cool,
splits.
Cascades of spells firing.
Yeah, see.
And it
When
just,
you know the game, it's pretty
you can feel
easy.
really
Yeah,
great
that's
when
one of those
it goes
things
well,
where it's like
when you
this is
have
one of those
good
games
going.
where once you learn,
Awesome.
it's
Now, for the people in
not
chat
that
that are asking,
difficult,
this
but
game
also
is called Spell Rogue. Because I'm seeing some questions pop up from, what game is this? This looks awesome. Where do I buy it? You can head on over to Steam and just punch in Spell Rogue, and it should pop up.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, he just made
All right.
short work of that. I don't even think he
Thanks,
took a single
Torbjørn,
bit of
for
health.
visiting
Wow.
our stream once again.
Knowledge and familiarity. Yeah, that is
Good
a
luck
lot of
with
what it is.
update 3.
Repetition.
We're looking forward to it.
It just takes a
all us,
lot of
and,
time.
We'll,
It's a lot of time.
We'll see you out there.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That was Torbjørn and Spellrogue,
Yes.
half of Guidelight Games.
Are we talking about Dino
behind that
Lords
game.
next? I am actually really interested.
Now we're moving
Dino
on
Lords.
to North Play, another
Yes.
Danish developer, and we're going to meet Michael, who's the founder and also game director on Dino Lords, which we actually
Lords.
had a bit of a happening with a few weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Is DRG
So,
new
but maybe we
friendly?
should
Yes,
get
very
Michael on
much so.
the
I
on
would
the
say so.
stream.
Yes.
and say hello, and then we can talk
Chat
about what.
with him.
Yeah, we can chat with him.
I'm actually really excited to hear what he has to say about Dino Lords.
But first, why don't we show the trailer that that the Dino Lords guys showed earlier?
yes,
let's
New
show
trailer?
this.
You're hinting at you want to show the trailer, Mark. I
No
can hear that.
new
So
Dino
let's show
Lords
the trailer.
trailer.
Yes, let's roll it.
Let's see here.
We didn't think the Viking raids could get any worse. The Danes are coming! You, a lord of England, must tame the land. Establish a thriving village and keep it supplied as it grows. Construct fortifications and build a mighty castle. Train your forces and prepare to man the ramparts. For our enemies have harnessed an ancient terror.
It's just such a cool
In
concept.
this world of steel and scale, only the bravest leaders.
A freaking
the ones who
armored
can defend their
ankylosaur.
strongholds. The ones who can raise an army. The ones who can fight together. Will be known as Dino Lords.
It's just such a cool. It's just such an over-the-top concept. I love it so much.
And welcome to you, Michael, on the stream.
Thank you. Hi.
Good to see you again.
You too.
Yeah. So we last we talked here. That was half a year ago, a
Yes.
little bit more than that,
Arc with
and we
extra
announced
steps. Arc, but
Dino Lords,
less
to our
broken,
fans, and
I would
and
say.
then we then you've been working on it, and then we got this opportunity to be part of the Triple I showcase.
Every Boy's Power
Can you tell a
Fantasy.
bit about
Yes, 100%.
that, Michael?
Well, that was exciting. I think only it was like 3 or 4 weeks before the actual happening. You poked us saying, "Hey, this maybe we could if we could have a trailer ready." And I looked at the team. We were like mid milestone, and we were like, "Yeah, let's
Fun, yeah,
drop everything and
basically.
make a kick-ass trailer." And we did that, and we're so happy that we.
I do like how you actually
joined,
get
'cause
to
it was such a
Crunchy
great
Frames.
event. There
Yeah,
was
it is a little
great games showcase
a little
there.
weirdly optimized, I will
and
say.
actually
But
think
maybe that's
our
just because
game
it's just a
did,
demo
they've
version.
slotted in really well into that lineup. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, the trailer we just saw was that trailer that participated in
Yes.
the Triple I showcase, and a tremendous improvement
It's
over
still
the
really
previous
early
trailer.
in development, so that might be why.
Turned
too.
out super cool.
Yeah, we got a much bigger audience this time around, even though we are happy about our stream here and the audience we have there. Of course, the Triple I initiative was a much bigger setup. We took a bit of a gamble going into it. Didn't know what it would be, but I had a good faith in all the cool indies that gathered around to get that to happen. And it worked, right, Michael? We got a lot more wishlist for Dino Lords in a short time.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, very surprised. I mean, as Søren said, we didn't really know what to expect. We worked really hard on that trailer, and it's always fun when you're this early in the process and you make these sort of like these milestone trailers. Even 6 months, the game actually like has evolved quite a lot, so it's really fun like having like this new high watermark for the vision of the game. We watched the trailer together actually with Søren at some of our friends' offices.
Tribane,
hosted, yes, they're also part of the
As well, they
showcase
destroyed
with
the
their
execution.
excellent.
Yeah, that's a good
game.
point. I'm surprised they don't have that as a
And
factor.
we're just having pizzas and beers.
I do
and the
love
trailer
this
came
style,
up,
though.
and
Like-
it was super cool. Everyone was quiet. The trailer played.
There was a
and we
game
popped the
similar to
champagne
this,
and didn't really
obviously
think
without
more of
dinosaurs.
it, and then suddenly
the
like
same
my
sort of,
phone
like,
just
art
started
style
going
and function.
crazy.
I'm trying to remember what it
we were
was.
just seeing a lot of press come in on the game, and
I love these like city
they were
builders
really
and
nice. Like
manager type games.
we were
They're really
being
cool.
listed in
Steel
top
and
highlights
scale.
for
I
the
love
whole
it.
showcase, and here we are, like this very tiny indie team, shoulder to shoulder
Dino
with
Crisis
some of
every
the
time someone
indie
mentions
giants
dinosaurs.
in the industry.
Ooh,
So
yeah,
yeah,
good
we're
point.
very, very happy, floored by the response.
There's something super easy to understand about the concept, right? That Søren and I also felt for the first time we met, and you presented the Dino Lords to us, right? Which is dinosaurs and Vikings. It's like, yeah,
It's literally every guy
Just
is
like
just gonna
history.
go crazy for that.
Real
just
history,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Dinosaurs and Vikings is just gonna go crazy.
Some of
So
the-
the game is
Peace
gonna
was
be a
never an
historical
option, yep.
correct game, I guess.
Of course, yes. This is an educational game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you could talk a little bit
This dude's
about
just soloing an ankylosaur.
like
What is this?
where you are with the game. What are you working on?
Yeah.
I visited you a few weeks ago, right? And
Yes.
we talked a lot about where you were at that point. But then since then, you released the trailer and learned even more. So so tell us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have this analogy right now that we are very much in the kitchen cooking, right? Let us cook. We have all the ingredients out, and it's a bit of a mess. But we're definitely it's definitely moving.
That's T-Rex.
And I think right now we are super focused on. I know a lot of people when we show them the trailer, they just want to hear about dinosaurs. But we also have an ambition of making this an interesting. I usually call it like a village builder, not necessarily a city builder, right?
Oh, yeah,
A
village builder
base
makes more sense.
builder, and the milestone that we're in right now really deep dives into how do we make this really fun to like build up your
Is there gonna be?
village,
Is this
manage
only
your resources, the
PvP, or is there gonna
economics
be
of the game,
PvE to it as well?
which is something that I've been super looking forward to getting into, because that's like my bread and butter as a gamer. I
One
love
thing I haven't quite figured
strategy
out yet.
games where you have to harvest resource, refine them, turn them into weapons, be able to like build out your army, fortify your castle, and so that's part of what we're doing right now.
Hard cut.
It's really cool. Like it's one of the things is that we've always sort of. This is a game where you control the Lord, right? You have a main character in the world, and so we think it makes a lot of sense that that resources also exist in the world. In many RTS games, resources are this ephemeral thing. You mine some, you harvest some trees, and it goes into like the cloud or whatever, like just this UI panel somewhere.
Yeah.
What we're sort of exploring right now is to really build out this logistical network where you can really follow a log of tree from being cut down to like taken to the lumber camp and then moved over to the stockpile, and have that same log be moved to the sawmill, turn it into planks, and have those planks be moved to the fletcher, turn it into bows, put those bows into the hands of archers and have them train with them.
Interesting.
And I think like if we do this really well, it sort of
Yeah,
turns
some of
into
them-
like this
some of
little
them are,
anthill
but a
kind
lot
of
of
thing
them
where you're
are-
watching your whole village come together, and all the specialists doing their job, and the villagers moving around resources and refining them.
Freaking raptors.
And yeah, it's
no,
really
those
cool.
aren't
That's
raptors,
that's
those are
some of the
something
stuff that we're focused on right now. I want that base building aspect, the economy aspects of it, to be really solid and be
He's
something
trying to
that you
attack the
can
raptor
play
and keeps
again
hitting
and
the tree.
again.
What about dinosaurs?
Yes,
The elephant in the room. Oh, the dinosaur in the room.
dinosaur.
I thought the dinosaurs. Yes, the dinosaurs in the room.
was
It's
me
interesting.
following
Like
dinosaurs
that's
apart.
we're, as I said,
Probably.
preface this
You probably
saying,
do that,
I know I'm
Tommy.
going to go
Yeah,
on
you
this
probably
stream and
do
talk
that.
about economy and logs and woods and stuff like that, and people are just going to be asking about dinosaurs. We're super excited by the response that we've gotten. Everyone's sort of asking like, okay, is it only the Danes that have dinosaurs, or do we get dinosaurs? And I can definitely say that you as the player will also control dinosaurs. And yes, we will also have mountable dinosaurs that you can ride on. Right now, we're still quite early in sort of like fleshing out what kind of gameplay exactly that produces. It's designed to be a very asymmetrical game.
You just pooped out
The
two
story
people out of
is
the-
that you
out of the
play as
town
the
hall.
British, right? And you're sort of overwhelmed by this new power, the dinosaur-powered conflict that the Danes inflict upon you. But as you progress through the game, ideally, you also get access, you unlock this dinosaur technology. And the ideas that we have right now that we're playing around with is this idea of you harvesting eggs and bringing them to a building, a hatchery building, where you can then
see.
hatch these different types of dinosaurs. And some dinosaurs would have offensive capabilities, some would be defensive, some would maybe help out in the quarry, enabling an economic boost to that logistical system I just talked about. So dinosaurs are definitely coming. And also, as you saw in the trailer, like from the first trailer, if people go back now, we actually have many more dinosaurs in the game. So that's pretty exciting.
Egg mission.
The
Yeah,
trailer's
pretty
also
much.
hinting a little bit towards that you can be more than one player. Is that right?
Yes.
Cooperative.
So when your publisher asks if this can be multiplayer, usually some dev teams I think runs away screaming, and we said no. We also think multiplayer is a great idea.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so we've been actually that's another part of the technical foundation that we've been building in, which is sort of networked.
I like this. I like the
game
wall laying
be
system. How you can
ready
just
for multiplayer
do pretty much
implementation.
whatever you want with it.
Unfortunately, there's no make this game multiplayer button in the game engine that we're using. Yeah, it's too bad. But we've sort of gone through the work of changing out and making all the components of the game networkable. And it's really fun. Like we're at the point now where we're having some albeit slightly buggy but pretty fun encounters where we play up to like 4 lords right now. And of course, we instantly murder each other, which means that suddenly we're thinking about, could this be a PvP game? And so, yeah, we're exploring that sort of stuff. But right now, like the focus of the explorations is to see if we can make this a co-op game, right? We want to have that experience of building a castle together with your friends. And dividing up the labor, I think that's a really strong fantasy. Like, okay, Søren, you're gonna go scout for Danes on dinosaurs.
Yes,
I'm gonna go make sure that our economy is strong.
This is
and
cool.
then Mikkel can man the ramparts and be ready for that next attack and train an army.
I'll be riding a dinosaur out back.
Of course, yes,
just having fun.
Yes.
I'll put Mikkel in the kitchen. I think that's you can cook.
Yeah. So yes,
nothing wrong with that.
network play.
No. That's needed as well.
Someone has to cook.
Someone has to cook. Yeah. And what about the Lord itself that you're playing? Have you toyed around with more mechanics around that, or is that still too further down your development roadmap?
Yeah, actually, we have some really fun. So the main, of course, we want, like, for the people that might not know the concept of the game, we're trying to merge 2 genres here, right? The real-time strategy genre with the action RPG genre.
Gameplay loop. Probably get resources, upgrade your.
We want there to be an itemization system. So
survive attack from dinosaurs. Find more dinosaurs. Use those dinosaurs to take out Vikings.
We're sort of experimenting with different kinds of weapons.
Lather, rinse, repeat.
We have
unlock new buildings and stuff like that.
Probably
Probably
snuck in the latest
crafting
build,
game
we
type
snuck
stuff.
in a little Easter egg of like a repeating
with a
crossbow,
very
which is
interesting
like
twist.
super fun to play with. It shows up somewhere in the footage that's on the stream right now. And so yeah, we're playing around with like different weapon types. And it's a balance because we don't want the Lord to be like this singular hero person. Like you have to, of course, rely on building out a strong base and have an army and stuff like that. But you can also be kind of cool. I mean, we're gonna have you riding dinosaurs eventually, right?
Yes, so, you're 1v1ing dinosaurs.
But yes, so yeah, we're totally playing around with that.
If people are watching here and gets interested into what is Dino Lords, and I mean, what should they do if they want to, I don't know, be part of your community, join, follow your game? What should they do?
That's a great question. You should go to Steam right now and click wishlist and follow. This is one of the things that we were so floored about in the last couple of weeks. Our Steam wishlists have just rocketed to
he's about to die. He's
way
about
higher
to die.
than we ever dared to hope for. Which also means that now that we're growing the community,
alive.
there's simply just
He's
more
dead.
attention on it, and we can do more with the community. We put more time and effort into it. So yeah, definitely go to Steam and hit that wishlist button, and also maybe join our Discord. We have like this ambition of doing like open development. We do these devlogs where we do videos, and we're also planning on doing monthly write-ups of the progress we're making with the game. So definitely come over and build an RTS game with us.
Goodness.
And for release into early access, we're about a year away from that at least, right? Something like that.
Oh man, that's a
Yeah,
bit.
it's unfair to have like us right after Survivor and Spell Rogue, which is like out there and being like excellent games and completely finished, and we're just still cooking in the kitchen.
To be fair,
but yeah, no, it's.
I'd rather it be. I'd rather it be good
Q2,
on release
next
instead
year.
of.
That's the current plan right now.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, one thing is putting a cool trailer together. Another thing is actually putting a cool game together.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mark, are there any?
Yes, we have a couple actually. So, one of the first question is does this sort of game have an end goal, or is it sort of endless survival?
That's a good question. So we plan on having a lot of the classic RTS mechanics of playing missions. And so the idea is you'd play scenarios. And on top of that, we want to have like a progression system. So basically, you could take the best parts of a real-time strategy game where you have a tech tree.
Right
maybe,
now,
or
the frames are a
generally
little bit
strategy
choppy.
games where you unlock new buildings, for example, and you can have the best parts of an action RPG game, like you have skills that you unlock for your lord, and we kind of want to now kiss on those two concepts. And have them, have you earn points in these missions that you finish, and then place them into these different tech trees, so that you slowly become more strong. So the next time you play, you can build like a different kind of building, or you can get access to a different kind of dinosaur, or you can.
So far,
construct
I'm
a
down
different
for
kind
all of
weapon.
this.
So that's the current idea for the progression of the game. Yeah.
Exciting. Some people have noticed a similarity to a game called Paraworld in a good way. So, do you have any
Yes.
inspiration coming from that old gem?
Paraworld is an excellent game. I think most of the team have been playing it and actually replaying it recently. Paraworld is more of a classic RTS game, box selecting units and moving it around, where I think we're really trying to push the envelope on like merging these two genres, because the camera is anchored to a central person, the Lord. But Paraworld is definitely an inspiration. Of course, like Stronghold is a huge inspiration, like the old classic castle sim from Firefly. There's a lot of inspirations. Of course, we all played Age of Empires and grew up with that, so that's also big in our minds. But yeah, no, Paraworld. Shout out to Paraworld. That's a good game.
And tying into that, will this game feature gameplay elements from the like Stronghold or classic Warcraft and games like that?
Yeah, I think, but just by the very nature of this being sort of a castle defense sort of thing, it really just strongly feels a lot like Stronghold. It has a lot of the same. You will also see if you see some of the economy simulations and the buildings and the resources that we're using in the game and the things that you produce, like they are definitely very inspired by Stronghold. So yeah, no, for sure. Like this idea of being on the castle ramparts and having hordes of enemies attack you is something that we really loved in Stronghold, and we've tried to heighten that by placing you as the main character inside those battles. So yeah.
That's awesome. I think I've consumed like almost all of your videos at this point, just because I'm super excited for it personally as well. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of the comments are spammed with Steel and Scale.
Yes.
So will you make Steel and Scale the rock and stone of Dino
I think
Lords?
that's it.
We will catch
physics,
anything this wonderful community does. Like it's so amazing to have,
not quite as flowy.
Have these wonderful people come into all our videos, all our streams. Let's make it happen. I mean, just Steel and Scale everything. I think that's
I love it.
If it's never going to be as cool as Rock and Stone.
Instant 10 out of 10.
But Steel and Scale it is. Yes.
Let
me hear Steel and Scale in the chat.
Yes, let's bring it.
Yes.
Nice. All right, I have a final question. Will units have matchup? So being like weaker against certain units and stronger against certain units, like how spearmen are good
rock,
against
paper,
mounts and
scissors
stuff like
system.
Absolutely. We already have like this what we call a rock paper scissors system in place. So right now, actually, right now on the stream that I'm watching, I'm being absolutely wrecked by like an Ankylosaurus. We call it an Ankyloram. It's really good at knocking down defenses. attacks, and archers are just really bad at it because it's so scaled on its back. So they like ranged units doesn't like do any damage to it. So what you really need there is like spearmen to poke at it, right? I think we also have that in the trailer. Like it's surrounded by a bunch of spearmen. So yeah, we'll definitely play around with having
cool.
that. We
like
want to
that.
have like interesting counters.
Gotta
for
have
units.
a diverse army.
That's part of the design.
All right, thanks, Michael, for visiting us here on the stream, and good luck with the development. I'm looking forward to my next visit to get hands-on with the iterations of whatever you're cooking in your kitchen.
Yeah, I'm like I'll go back to the kitchen now, but thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was it for the presentation of the state of the various.
All right, I think we're getting into the big stuff now. I think we're getting into
short.
the big
things.
We
also have Dark Swarm, and they are just further into development. I mean, they are definitely working hard at it.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything about Dark Swarm.
We'll get back to them in future on the horizons and in other.
And they're doing good, and they are moving ahead on the project. But we decided that we were not ready to share more stuff that is happening on them. But look forward to it. Join them, wishlist them. It's gonna be cool.
Yes. But now we move into the next segment where we're going to focus a bit back on Ghost Ship games and what happens.
And
here,
it's sort of like a recap, right? Because we're also going to be look at the games that we've just been talking about now, and just giving you some dates and giving you an overview of everything happening.
Putting everything on a timeline so you can better understand how we are prioritizing things, and we'll also give a bit of insight into why we are doing it like this. So
but let's see the roadmap.
So on the left side here, we have basically what we've just been talking about. What happens in 2024 this year? The next two updates from Spellrogue and Survivor coming out in the immediate future. Boy. And then following that, we have Season 5.
Yes. Big more about that in 10 minutes or 15 minutes when Mike will join the stream. But and then in Q3, we will have another update for Deep Rock Survivor and basically just more updates.
That
has not been decided yet.
Of course. So I will continue for the rest of the year with gameplay content updates. We will likely have a release of 1.0 for Spellrogue in 2025. Of course, now we're moving into a future that is almost a year from now, and anything in game development, we've been at this for 20-25 years. When you talk about things that are 12 months ahead, it's shaky territory, right? But we'll try anyways, just to give you an idea. So Spellrogue, we imagine is coming out in Q1 next year, and will then of course continue its journey.
Then we move into Rogue Core. I think on the last Horizon we presented a roadmap where we were saying that we would have a closed alpha on Rogue Core around now.
We were a bit optimistic.
That is clearly not happening right now. So we are planning for that in Q1 2025. And then moving on, we have Dino Lords. I can't see.
No. So as we heard from Michael, in about a year from now, we are expecting Dino Lords to launch into early access if all things move along as planned. And then instead of saying Q something, it starts saying to be announced, because with Survivor for Deep Rock, there are a lot of unknowns on how much content we actually, or the team or Funday wants to put in before we go into 1.0. So as it is right now, that's just sometimes next year. That will enter a 1.0. And the same is true for the early access release of Dark Swarm. They are testing out a lot of cool stuff, putting a lot of elements together, but right now it's not really possible to say any exact point in next year when that will go into early access.
And again, I mean, we're aiming for a closed alpha on Rogue Core in Q1, right? And that means again that an early access launch on Rogue Core will happen sometimes after that.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. We need maybe a half a year to maybe more to wrap the game up based on the learnings that we'll get from a closed alpha.
For sure.
So again, to be announced. We are not ready to set any launch date. And then a lot of you out there is probably wondering when after season 5 will there be new stuff for Deep Rock Galactic? And one of the things that we have experienced during the last year has been then we've been trying to do two things at the same time, both trying to get Rogue Core out and then still trying to support Deep Rock Galactic with a season 4 and 2 maintenance update, now season 5.
Yeah.
And the truth is that we realized that it is really difficult for us as a small studio to do two things at the same time. For example, right now we're working on season 5. That means that for the last 3 to 4 months, no one has actually been working on Rogue Core.
No.
And this is also why we have been pushing Rogue Core pretty far out into the future, because we've basically been a lot delayed on the development of Rogue Core. So with Deep Rock Galactic, we have made the decision that we are not gonna plan or think about season 6 until we are done with Rogue Core.
So that we know what we are facing at that point, how well has Rogue Core been received, and what should we do about that, and then where to take Deep Rock at that point. That's not the same as Deep Rock will stay dormant. I mean, there will still be lots of small things happening, like the holiday season, holiday events, right?
Yeah.
And maybe some other small things, but they're not like roadmap worthy in that sense.
Doing something big as a season is we just realized that it's really difficult for us. Basically, when we're working on stuff, we want to perform 110% on that. We want to, do whatever we're working on. We want to make it the best that it can be. And we just realized that it's very difficult for us to do two things. So this is why we have made this decision.
All right.
I feel like that. I still feel like that's fair.
Segment, I guess, is
a fair way
on
to look at
it. Maybe we can take some questions right now.
At the very least, they're being completely honest with us.
To see the reactions from the.
All right, so I have a more general question to start off. Do we have any plans for more new merchandise?
Yes. But it's complicated.
I want that coil gun.
Still a bit bummed out about that the for fans by fans setup ended up not existing anymore. They did produce some really, really cool stuff, even though it was only easily accessible in the US because of shipments and so on. And we've been working on the sideline to set up something new. It is not our business. I mean, we going into merchandise, and suddenly it's about physical products, right? And that's just a much different, very different type of business. But we are collaborating or talking about discussing collaborations with some partners that have worldwide shipment setups, and hopefully we'll be able to announce something maybe on the Horizon stream.
Cool. I mean, we are into cool merchandise for Deep Rock Galactic, right? I mean, just
because
we really wanted to
have
ourselves. So
look at the table.
We really wanted to have all this fan-produced merchandise here.
Yeah, bro.
And we just want to make it on a scale where it can be available to all of you.
Usable?
And that's where we lack. I mean,
the
whole the business side of it is just very we're out of our league somehow.
It's complex. It's complicated. Yeah.
So I have a Rogue Core question. I'm not sure if we can share any details on it, but how can people join the closed alpha of Rogue Core once that happens?
That is a bit too early, but clearly, if you wishlist the Rogue Core, if you, I think do we have a unique Discord server set up for Rogue Core? I think we have, right? Or maybe we haven't.
No, we're using our own.
No, not yet. No, we use Deep Rock Galactic. Yeah, so then just join the Deep Rock Galactic, and we'll make sure to
I take that mug. Yes,
give more information when we get ready for that.
So we have had some experience with the other published games of how to use the new playtesting systems on Steam, on the Steam platform, and they're actually quite good. So it's likely that we will also take advantage of that, but it's not been decided yet.
No, and again, we also need to find a format where we can actually, I don't know, make some kind of a meaningful demo out of Rogue Core for this to work. So right now we have set a closed alpha, which could mean many things. One thing it could mean is that we will only let selected people in, a selected few, so not necessarily a public playtest. Yeah. So what Alex is saying in the background is if people are following Rogue Core on Steam, they will be the first to know what is going on.
We're posting it in Steam posts using the Steam system.
And I will promise that, I mean, on the backside of Season 5 launch, we will become more active in sharing stuff about Rogue Core. I know we have not been we've been dreaming about being more active in the open development of Rogue Core, but again, we've been struggling with balancing Deep Rock and Rogue Core at the same time, sadly. Yeah.
Cool. I have a question. Will the Embraces split have any impact for you, or are you good going business as usual?
The last one. We are just good business as usual, and actually I think it's a good move, and I think it will place us even better for the future. We have been, as promised, been allowed to do our own stuff here at Ghost Ship, and we will keep doing that for the future. We are in the group of Embracer being looked upon as someone who's really, really good at early access in Steam, and we'll keep improving that so we keep ahead, and that will also be our part in the new structure that will be taking on that role as those who knows that platform really, really well.
Cool. So for Deep Rock Galactic, do you plan on doing smaller updates in the style of the maintenance updates more frequently throughout 2024 and 2025?
The answer a bit quiet to what I just said. I mean, we are not gonna say we're gonna say no to that right now because we need to focus on Rogue Core. And again, we cannot either say that it's not gonna happen, but we are not gonna put it up on a roadmap like we did after Season 4, where we promised 2 maintenance updates. We're basically not gonna promise anything. After Season 5, it's gonna be Rogue Core full steam ahead.
Cool. And a final Rogue Core question: will the upgrade system in Rogue Core be the same as it is in Deep Rock Survivor?
100% no.
Perfect. Nice. Well, on that note, let's bring in Mike for the Season 5 segment, shall we?
I'll say goodbye to all of you, and good day to Mike coming in and taking my hot seat. I've warmed the seat, Mike.
So just for everyone watching, we're doing a quick swap of mics, and then we'll be back. Very both literally and figuratively. I don't know.
So while they're doing that, I can see the skepticism that some people would probably have with this, big choice to go one or the other, but I think it makes a lot more sense, and I'll give more thoughts about that.
Can you bring your mic closer to your mouth, Mike?
After everything's done, I'll give my whole thoughts on everything, because I have a lot of thoughts to say on this for right now. Not necessarily bad, just a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing it without long hair. The mic ain't working. It's not working.
Oh, 1 sec. We have a small audio
Microphone's
issue
not
before
working.
you guys get started. 1 second.
Microphone's not working.
Seems
to neglect me a full-time miner again. Yeah, the season selection I think is big.
All right, there we go. Try to say something now.
Okay, so how is check testing sound?
Louder.
Is
they can't hear us.
Can't hear us.
Just got a bump.
Then help.
All right, go ahead.
Can I just?
Sorry about that, guys.
Did we turn the mic off on the headset there?
Turn them up.
It's not making any.
We're good.
Turn them up.
All right, let's go, guys.
Yes. Okay, that was off to a.
It's fine. Let's hit it.
Yes, let's hit it. No, anyways, Mike and I, we're gonna take you all through Season 5 of
Deep Rock.
Sorry, but
Yes.
guys, everything's maxed out. They're
All
just
the
their
things
mics are very low.
So let me just set the frame here. We're not going to show you any video. So we're going to show you some pictures, screenshots, old school screenshots of a lot of the features we have. And then later you're going to see it all in motion.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just going to be like that. So, and we have a long list of stuff that we want to
think
go
they
through,
fixed it.
take you through. Mark has been working on hooking it all up. So maybe you can just bring it up on the screen.
There it is.
Drilling
here's it.
deeper.
And obviously the first thing that is being revealed here is the theme of
Drilling
Season 5.
deeper. That
deeper.
makes a lot of
It's
sense.
drilling deeper.
Interesting.
It's drilling deeper. And so what is the theme really?
Do I see new
So
difficulty?
it is not
Do you guys see new
coming to us.
difficulty right
No,
here?
It is not rival.
Are we getting
robot
hazard level
or
6?
Anything else that is threatening?
Unfortunately.
This is basically Deep Rock Galactic, the mining corporation, looking into expand their business.
Yes.
They have, I don't know, maybe they've been exhausting the upper layers of Hoxes, and now they need to go deeper and search for precious minerals.
Yes.
Um,
Always need more.
always need more, always want to increase your wealth.
Very,
not for the wealth,
very
but for the
interesting.
DRG corporation.
But they've also found something new.
And they also found something new, which so this is like setting the setting, and then we have the new
Deep
mission.
scan.
And,
mission type.
What is going on with the new
Yeah.
mission, Mike?
So name, as you can see, is Deep Scan, and to quickly take you through the missions. So Deep Rock Galactic has found a new source of Morkite, or specifically maybe the original source of Morkite, something that is called Morkite seeds, and these seeds are located very deep inside Hoxus, inside this kind of we're calling it a Morkite geode.
Yeah.
Kind of enclosed hollow rock. It's all shiny and sparkly inside. And the mission is about performing deep scans inside a fairly
Is that a
complex
new weapon?
cave system.
No, that's a new
in an
skin
attempt
for the
to,
Warhog.
find
Yeah, the
this
geo
skin
with the
for the
Morkite
Warhog.
seeds in.
Exactly.
And I can just add a little bit of lore to this thing. The dwarf, let me say it that way, don't necessarily know what it is being used for, but maybe the seeds are being used to cultivate Morkite, like offsite.
Yeah.
Hoxes in a controlled environment. And that's
growing Morkite
obviously
in a dish.
easier, yeah. So it potentially could put out the dwarfs of work, right?
But think of the profits.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways.
No. But going through, so you start off that you need to find we're calling them resonance crystals, and you're doing that using a telemetric rangefinder, and you see its readout in the upper left-hand corner of the screen there.
That's kind of cool.
And it pretty much shows the distance to the nearest crystal. And it pretty much kind of the beginning of this mission is a bit of a treasure hunt, a little bit of this hot-cold gameplay as you're trying to make your way to the crystal, both using the rangefinder, but also combining it with your terrain scanner, the 3D map. So trying to figure out, okay, so it's 30 meters away from me. It's not in this room. Where can it be? And
so the bar you have up there,
Yeah.
right? That is actually sort of like it's going beep, 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 and then it's showcasing you or showing you how close you are to a resonance crystal.
Yeah.
Right. So and that's where the hot cold come from.
exactly.
So when it is like when it's beeping out in the whole full bar, you are standing right on top of a resonance crystal.
Exactly, and then you can start digging.
Yeah.
And as you dig down, because there is no visual signifier of the crystal above ground, so you have to find the right spot, start digging, and then you'll start finding a different material below the rock. And as you dig through that, you then expose the crystal, and you can see there the tip of the crystal being shown. Then what you do is you call down a resonance scanner, hook it up to the crystal, and then they're able to perform a deep scan using this. And then you do this multiple times until the location of the geode has been
Triangulated.
if it's triangulated, I don't know, quadrangulated if we choose 4.
So we're still we're still.
Ruler will be blessed with this
So
mission.
it's,
Yeah, you're
there's
right.
Unknowns.
Yeah, actually just came down from a playtest with Jonas, but
Okay. Cool.
but yeah, so you do that, and then once the geode is located, Mission Control is going to send down from orbit a drill elevator.
Drill-elevator.
Whoa! And it's a new piece of machinery that is intended to be able to go down through the hard rock and actually break through the geode. So all the dwarves get on the drill-elevator, preferably resupplied beforehand, and start it. And so it begins to dig down.
You're going deep, right?
You're going deep. You're going very deep. And so you're going down this shaft, and it's of course also making a lot of noise. And it's attracting all the locals.
Yep.
And they're coming to chew on you. It is pretty much this kind of elevator battle as you are going downwards, shooting upwards, and also maintaining the drill elevator as it's overheating. You need to keep it running nice and smooth. You will hit along the way some patches of harder rock, which will slow down the drill elevator, allowing the enemies to catch up. So it's kind of you are balancing this, thinning them out, maintaining the drill elevator, also making sure getting any of them that get on the elevator, getting them off. And then eventually the drill elevator
it's
will
like escort meets
geode
egg hunt meets
It's really cool, right?
sabotage.
This thing about shooting up in a hole and having the enemies come down there, right?
Yeah.
That creates that effect, like you're just raining.
Is that where you're gonna end up?
Yes, yes. You are literally knee deep in the dead.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
It feels quite crazy. And then you get down here, and then you have to locate a number of Morkite seeds, harvest those, stuff them in Molly, and you're ready for
Molly's
extraction.
with us! Molly's with us for this
Which
mission!
Point, we also have some special extraction jet propulsion in there.
Yeah, because I mean we've been playing around with. I mean, are we sending the drop pod in here or not? But then we said, oh wait a minute, we have like this long hole, right? There could be.
Wait, are we just gonna be able to extract on the drill elevator?
Yeah, way out of that. So basically, on board the drill elevator, there's gonna be a box or a hidden compartment with extraction jet boots.
Yes, they're special.
Yeah,
extraction
jet. So when you finish the mission, that will open and you'll get access to the extraction jet boots, and then you'll just fly up and get on board.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So you come out of the hole. The drop pod is somewhere in the cave system,
that's
somewhat
cool.
nearby, but there is still also an extraction phase where you are running through the caves trying to get to the drop pod. So the boots do make that easier, and then you're done.
And mission completed.
Mission completed.
Okay, this is cool.
Yeah, so that's the new mission.
But there's more.
But there's more. Just before we move on, I just want to just.
Whoa! What was that?
Is sound okay? Sound is okay. Cool.
What was that?
Yeah, but then let's continue. So then we have for season 5, we also have a season event.
Yeah, as usual. A way for you to get script.
Purple crystal.
And we're not gonna say much about it now.
No, but it looks like this.
It looks like this. You are gonna be hunting for something called another mineral that Deep Rock has discovered, which is called core stone.
Yes.
And the core stone is embedded in the rock formation you see here.
Yes.
And
that's it.
And that's it. Then I think you just need to stay tuned, and then we'll reveal.
There's gonna be more to
at
it.
a later stage, coming closer to the launch of season 5 in June.
There's definitely more to it than just digging it out. And
there's definitely more to it than just digging it out. And then let's move over to new enemies.
Yes, we have a few of those.
We have a few, and we have actually like stationary
spitballer?
enemies, which is something we haven't been doing for a long time.
Weird looking.
I think the
it looks like
last
a weird
stationary thing
spitballer.
we did was maybe the Corlock, and that's like kind of like a big thing. And before
I
that,
think you're right. I think that must have been the Corlock. Yeah. So we're doing 2 new ones here.
Okay.
And the first one is the Barrage Infector.
Yes.
Which is just like a Spitballer Infector. They are sort of like in family.
They're sort of family, but there's a big difference. So this one is a bit more of an area denial hazard. So it's shooting out a barrage, almost like a shotgun shot of these
A shotgun spitball infector.
goop
Oh
balls
boy.
that are going to be landing around where the dwarves are, and then they don't kind of just damage on impact, but instead they're kind of become like timed bombs. So you have to get out of the way before they all start exploding, dealing massive damage.
scatter
So
mine
it's,
launcher.
kind of moving the dwarves around.
Spitballer.
Yeah.
That's okay. Interesting.
That's
But,
that one.
But
Yep.
otherwise, it's business as usual. Shoot it.
Shoot it
it
in
in
the
the
glowy parts for extra shooty action, and take it out.
Yeah, this
before
is
it takes you
the
out.
stationary enemy.
And then the next enemy we have is called the Vartox Scale Bramble.
Yes.
What?
And contrary to the image you see here, this is mostly going to be spawning on walls and in ceilings.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
opposite to the Spitballers, which are normally placed on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And the special thing about this is that you cannot just shoot it, right?
No, you can see the 3 little glowy bits attached with
Nodules.
nodules.
What?
Yes, I think that's the term we're going with. And the idea here is that the central core part, which is also a ranged attacker. Kind of, you can see it is shooting at you, shooting around at the dwarves. That part is
Gunner's Gunner just
too well
shot
defended,
up in
and you have to
value
take
with
out
his shield.
all 3 of these nodules to make
Just
it vulnerable,
immediately
at which
doubled in
point,
value with
you
all
are then
these ranged
able
attackers.
to take out the entire scale bramble. And the idea here is that you have this like dangerous source of damage, and you have to move around it, move through the area that it is defending, looking for these weak points.
Yeah,
Wait,
I can
how
also
big
say
is
another
this
which
thing?
is that the nodules are further away from the scale bramble than what you see on this list.
Oh, so it's
yes,
big.
yes.
So, so this is not representative for the actual gameplay. All right, and then here we actually have another enemy. We've seen this image before.
Is that invisible?
And I don't know if you noticed it.
Is that
There's a
invisible?
stalker
Is
in
that
there.
invisible
But
enemy?
yeah, there's a stalker. There's actually an enemy in here. And I'll just give you a second to see if you can spot it. And you didn't spot it, and then you died.
And it's
but
not the driller.
it's not the driller. No.
Not the is that it right there in the very middle?
But Mark, let's see. Yeah,
Yep.
so the stalker
Oh
is
my
sitting
god,
here.
an
And maybe
invisible
Mike, you
enemy?
could tell us a little bit about how it's working.
Sure. So this is an enemy that is not kind of part of the large group of bugs that are coming in. It's not part of the horde. Instead, it is actually trying to sneak up onto the dwarves. It's taking often different routes. It is very hard to see. It is very quiet until it is within a closer distance.
Invisible
Although it does
enemy.
make its own presence known, so you have an idea that there is a stalker around, but now you have to search for it, find it, spot it before it gets to you, and then it actually will kind of have a bit of a battle cry to kind of the final tell before it attacks you. And its attack is quite nasty, where it
I already can rarely
it has
see
a
things
kind
in the
of
cave,
an electric
yeah,
attack
right.
that will disable your shields. for a
Very
short
good or
period of
very
time,
bad?
as
Yeah,
well as
depends on
deal
how they
damage.
handle it.
So it makes
But
you
I
vulnerable after
have
that.
always
nasty.
thought they should
So
have
it
had
is a
something
priority
like
target,
this.
but one that is hard to see.
Yeah. And I think to give you guys out there an idea about the flavor or how it's feeling, it's a little bit like a melee version of the Menace. The
Yeah.
Glyphid Menace, right?
Ooh,
Glyphid Menace
okay.
also has something that is like dives away and then you need to, where is it? And we need to kill it. It's
Like a
somewhere
hit
here,
and
right?
run
And
bug
it's the same thing here.
almost.
You're going to be attacked by this guy and then you
Interesting.
really want to prioritize the stalker as your next target because
Yeah,
it's
Why
super
wouldn't
annoying
bugs
to have
develop
that guy
invisibility?
around.
Kinda, yeah, you're
In
right.
some ways, it's a mix of the menace and the grabber, in the sense
Yeah.
that I mean, the menace, of course, will do a lot of damage, but the grabber can also really disrupt the dwarf that it selects as target.
Yeah.
So
So it's a high priority target when it comes around. All right, and then we have new overclocks.
yes. So the enemies get something, and
They're gonna
the
show
players
us?
get something as well.
At
And
least
we
show
did
us
make,
one.
new
Come on.
overclocks. These are only for the primary weapons
Mhm.
right now. No secondary weapons here.
Fair.
That's why it's 12. And we're not going to go through all 12 here, but
no, we have selected a few of them.
selected
to-
a few, and I mean, overall, a lot of these are very exciting, but we just wanted to show you a few, and also in a wide range of kind of what they do. So on the more kind of
Pump
changing the way the
action.
gun feels, we have the pump action. And this is for the engineer's shotgun, and it is
Huge
turning
increase
his
to damage,
semi-automatic
+1
shotgun
blow
into
through,
a
reduced
pump
magazine
action
capacity.
style shotgun. So we have a
Ooh.
reduced rate of fire, but on the positive side, you have much more damage, and you also actually have a tighter spread. So you are making your shots count a bit more. You also have less ammo. Pretty much the shotgun has been modified to larger
Interesting.
shells.
Cool. What is the downside to this gun? Because I can see it's an unstable
Yeah.
clock.
So of course, a big thing here is that ammo capacity and also kind of how many you can put into the tube or the magazine in the case of this shotgun, which is a magazine-fed shotgun, is reduced. So again, you have to make each shot count more.
Yeah.
You cannot just spray indiscriminately the way you can more with this shotgun.
Classic
So
experience,
it's
yeah,
unstable
right.
because it changes the way you play with the gun quite a bit, not because necessarily
is
it does
it- is
anything
it-
This is
crazy.
pretty good because people have been
So
saying that the
is going
Warthog
to,
does need like a
thousands.
big damage increase. So if you're using
No,
this
because
for
it's still
more
a
raw
shotgun,
damage,
so it's still very close
this
range.
is gonna be really, really good.
In that sense.
Okay.
But it is, of course,
higher
hitting much
percentage,
harder,
yeah,
much
yeah,
harder.
yeah.
But at the same time, still, it's not that you are aiming for weak points unless you are
No.
literally kind of up against the target. But again, like to give an example, this is something that can, especially depending on how you build the gun around this prototype, you're able to one-shot grunts off walls from a decent distance. Something that normally the shotgun requires 2-3 shots to do because of What damage that does. Then next up, we have for the gunner, and this is for the autocannon. It's mortar rounds.
Mortar
And,
rounds.
we'll kind of we try to see how far we can crank the whole AOE. Just absolutely destroying an area with this
Wow.
handheld cannon.
Like this,
Handheld
just
missile
Carpet
strike.
Bomber 2.0.
Yeah, well, I mean
is
they are
basically
still
what this
falling, right?
is.
So they're unpowered, and this time the rounds are so big. Normally, by the
They have
way,
an arc.
to anybody who doesn't know, the autocannon is a hit scan weapon, and this overclock actually shifts it to lobbing an actual projectile that is flying through space, is being affected by
you
gravity.
literally have an
and
artillery
an impact
cannon.
does a tremendous amount of damage, has a huge area of effect, but and the big downside of it is also has a lot of friendly fire, self damage. You can kind of think of it as a small full auto PGL.
So
which
good thing the driller doesn't have access to this gun.
is sure, but it's a little bit more of like it turns it into a little more of an expert weapon where you really have to think about when to use it, and especially recognize situations where you cannot use it. If enemies are right in your face, using it has a cost. If your friends are in the place you're shooting, again, using it has a cost, so you have to switch to your secondary, relocate, do other things like that. So very, very good.
So now friendly fire
when
perk
used correctly,
viable.
but
I mean, I
also,
thought it
you
was
know,
always
for hanging
viable,
stuff
but
with.
even more so now.
Cool. Let's take the
Next up,
Flamer.
Inferno. This
Holding
is
the
for the
reload,
driller.
charges up and fires a horizontal spread.
And it is for the
Which consumes a
Christmas
lot of ammo.
flamethrower.
Oh
And
no!
what we're actually doing here is adding an option. So you hold R for a little while. There's a bar that fills up, and then Crisper dumps a whole bunch of the fuel from the tank and shoots it out as a projectile, as a horizontal line that is moving forward, burning everything in its path, and also leaving behind a carpet of flames.
That
So it's,
sounds awesome.
It
That
doesn't
sounds
change
so
how the gun
cool.
shoots in its primary form. It instead adds a secondary function
Yeah.
to it.
It feels it sounds to me a little bit like a breach cutter, maybe.
Yeah, I think the breach cutter is
But,
the closest
Lame
what we
breach
have
cutter.
now in that.
What about the ice spear and the cryo also?
Yeah, so the cryo cannon has had this whole thing of having an alternate fire mode, where you were holding or pressing R on the
Snowball.
cryo cannon because it doesn't have a reload function.
Yeah.
So we could
I'm
have
guessing
it,
they're gonna
more
show one
snappy.
for the
Here instead,
scout.
it is quite powerful, and it is also, but it is not. Unlike
A
Ice
little
Spear,
respect,
which
but on
kind
the
of
flame-
gives
yeah,
the cryo
pretty
cannon
much.
long range pinpoint,
Flame snowball.
but
Flame
good
ball.
accuracy anyway.
Whatever you want to call it.
This is has multiple uses, so you can use it up close as a way to kind of just immediately set a lot of enemies on fire, as a way to also place down a lot of sticky flames, but at the same time also as a way to get flames further than the Crisper normally does, and so it gives you other options with this gun.
I like this. I like this a lot.
And then last but not least,
Scouts.
we have Marked for Death for the Scout, and this is going on the M1000.
Ooh. Focus
And
shots make
with this
those
overclock,
take more damage.
what we're trying to do is actually take the M1000's focus shot, which is normally a very high damage and high instant damage option for the Scout, and turn it instead into a debuff. So using the focus shot, the M1000 instead shoots out kind of like a special tracking dart, which then will make the hit target take a lot more damage from all other sources, whether it is the Scout or
That's
his teammates
really
or grenades or
crazy.
anything like that. So the idea here is that you are marking the target or multiple targets with the Scout's
That's going to make elimination
shot on the
missions even
M1000.
easier.
and then whether solo or in a team, you're able to focus on this target. And the target gets also highlighted when this happens. It gets a red outline around it to kind of to help organize the team. Say
That's
like, okay,
actually-
this is now
that's
a priority
really
target. That's a
good.
priority target. And it's quite cool because it changes how you play with this gun.
I don't know if you played the board game, but it actually reminds me a little bit of how Mood were implementing the flares, because the flare, if you shoot the flare on an enemy in the board game,
It does this.
it basically does this. It makes the
That's
enemy
really.
more
I like all of these
vulnerable.
so far.
Ve-
So
ve-
far,
ve-
I like
very much on
all of
that,
these
but,
overclocks.
placed on the Scouts.
I think all of them have a
Very
place.
cool. And obviously we have 8 more.
We have 8 more. Yes.
8, 9 maybe.
More
There's-
performance fat. Look at that
No,
mustache.
Okay, so the thing
Look
is
at that
we
stash.
have
Oh,
12
look at
overclocks,
these
but we also
skins.
have 13th, which is just a heavy rework of an
Mhm.
existing overclock,
Mhm.
which you will.
I think
Oh, so
we
they're
will,
also
we will
reworking an
talk
overclock.
more about the overclocks in
Interesting.
the coming future up until launch.
Definitely.
So moving on, obviously a new performance pass for season 5.
I like these skins. I like these skins.
A bunch of new cool cosmetics for you guys to obtain and
very
work your way
cool.
through.
I knew helmet. That looked
You
really
see
neat.
some of them here. They're like hairstyles, hats.
Gonna become meta for
beards,
team game.
beard
Yeah,
styles.
absolutely. I agree. Mark for Death looks really good.
I don't know.
And so on. So a lot of cool things. Of course, one of the main thing on the menu in the season pass and the cosmetic tree is a new weapon framework, and
we have that as well.
We have that as well.
I
we
love
we
these.
call it
These
the
look
Neo
so
Technic,
good.
and, it's
These look
to-
so
shout
good.
out to the artist who has been working on this.
These are the best ones they've done so far.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, and of course, as always, the performance pass, the season pass, all that stuff is completely free, as always.
This is the best.
Business as
This is
usual.
the best ones they've done so far. At least in my opinion.
And again, no big changes to the season pass of season 5. Besides, of course,
The theme,
the
yeah.
theme is differently. The season events will be different.
Yes.
Looks like from Weapon from Overwatch
so,
something. Kinda, yeah. Will there be new DLC? Yeah, there's always a new DLC bundle that comes
difficulty,
out.
and this is
New-
something that has been a highly requested feature. Is like a Hazard 6, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
We've been
blood
doing that,
sugar?
like,
What is
for-
blood sugar?
Yeah.
Are we getting new
Almost
mutators?
introduced,
Hazard
Hazard 5. For those people who don't know, when the game launched, we only had 4 hazard levels, and Hazard 4 was the highest.
What
hazard
is
level,
blood
and then,
sugar?
there's
What is
been power
that?
creep in the development. We have been buffing guns and weapons and so on, and then at some point we introduced.
You must
Hazard
completely
5.
summon beyond lethal from the has been
and,
hazard level 5
That
plus.
didn't stop people from asking for more pain.
No, and I mean there are mods that are taking the game way beyond this in
Yeah.
terms of difficulty.
So
Yeah.
anyways, we've been discussing it a lot, what to do with a Hazard 6, and we really didn't feel that we could do a Hazard 6 that we could be standing in for. I think it was hard for us to just turn them up. So what we have done instead is that we made a system where you can go in and play an assignment in order to unlock Hazard 5 plus.
Don't call it Hazard 6.
No, it's not Hazard 6. It's a 5 plus. And the reason why it's Hazard 5 plus is because it will put the power in the player hands to actually set the hazard level.
More enemies
or
to
set
grab.
the-
Oh, so you can actually adjust.
Difficulties.
the difficulty, yeah. Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
Hazard 5 Plus consists of 4 difficulty modifiers that you are able to apply to a baseline of Hazard 5. And you can see them on screen right now. And the idea is that each one kind of affects a separate aspect of difficulty, and you can mix and match. They also have multiple stages, so kind of you can choose how far you want to crank this. You can crank all of them to 100. You can take one a little bit, the other one more, ignore a third, as you want. And just
Yeah,
to kind of quickly go through them.
157%.
So we have
That's
things like aggressive
ridiculous.
enemies, which is changing kind of how fast the enemies are, both in their movement, but also in their attack rate, in the speed of the projectiles that they're shooting. Generally making the enemies more dangerous, but not by cranking their damage, but instead by cranking their aggressiveness.
Yeah.
So avoiding damage becomes harder. On the other side, we have player vulnerability, which is making pretty much all damage sources around you, including your teammates.
Friendly fire,
yeah.
hot rock, poisonous clouds, everything will
Yeah.
hurt you more, right?
Yeah,
Max
completely.
everything for the lull.
and,
I mean,
the
there's
only
gonna be
thing
challenges
is
for
not
that.
affected is fall damage
Yeah.
from gravity, so that kind of because
Oh,
players
more
build
fall
up,
damage.
kind of
Scouts
an internal sense
beware.
for what is dangerous to fall off, what not, and we want to
I
leave
think
that
that's
alone.
totally fair, right?
Yeah.
That would be super weird if
This is basically Hazard 6
step on
almost.
a small ledge and die.
Yes. Exactly.
I
And then
imagine
we have
if they
more
maxed
enemies,
out enemy
which,
aggression
is
and top
what it
enemies,
is.
we'd be at like
We're increasing, not only the
160%.
enemy spawns, but also the max
imagine.
cap of how many enemies can be active at once. And
Again, some of these things are gonna probably affect like frame rate and stuff like that with people who was running the game on lower systems. So again, also a reason why we didn't feel that we could just like
just do a hazard thing.
Do Carl mission
hazard
challenge
fix,
rules?
right? I mean, this is
Absolutely.
something you decide yourself.
Yes.
On.
Yeah, so some of them will have no impact on performance, like player invulnerability, tough enemies. Even aggressive enemies would probably have minimal. But things like more enemies, of course, yeah, that's if you're struggling to run DRG right now, that's not going to make it easier. And tough enemies is actually increasing the enemy health. And again, because this has
Are they gonna mention
steps,
blood
so we're trying
sugar,
to,
or are they just gonna
do
completely throw
versions
that
where
out-
it's like,
throw
well,
that
yeah, it's
away?
making the game more difficult, and then like a higher version that's
They have
actually
to,
changing
right?
how you play the game. All right. So again, with for example, when the enemies are a lot tougher, ammo conservation becomes very important. Hitting weak points becomes very important, and also how long you spend down in the cave with limited nitra becomes a big factor as well.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, obviously, we are hiding this behind an assignment.
Yes.
Where you need to complete an assignment
makes
on
sense.
Hazard 5 before you get access to this. And again, it is because we don't want Greenbeards to just stumble into this, because they're just
No,
gonna
this
die
would not
like
be
this.
fun.
That makes a whole
Not
lot
be
of
fun for
sense.
No.
Would not be
so
good
that's
for the
why
new
we're doing
player
it like this,
experience.
right? And
I mean, the same with the Hazard 5 assignment, the one that unlocks
There's
Hazard
new
5. You have to
anomalies. There
play
might be
on
new
Hazard
warnings.
4,
There might very much
because
be.
if you're not comfortable
might be
doing an
correct
assignment
on
on
that.
Hazard 4, you definitely don't want Hazard 5.
No. Just, do you have more to say on Hazard 5?
No, I think that covers
Then
Hazard 5.
I just want to bring attention to a small feature that we just recently saw. In, some guy on Reddit, I think, was asking for a way to pick a random mission. And we
Yes.
said, okay, yes, we can see that if you have played and drained the game for content and you just want to have fun, then pick a random mission for you. And we added that small little button next to the server list with the...
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even notice
and if
that.
you press that, you will just be taken to one of the regions and have a random mission selected.
Exactly. And if you don't like it, you
have a-
can...
Yeah. And obviously this is features...
Elite Haunted Cave bulk. No, don't speak it into existence.
Then let's
Here
move
we
on to
go.
reactivating of all seasons.
Yes. And this is something that, of course, most of you have heard of before.
Yeah.
It's something that we mentioned
Yeah.
previously.
Yeah.
Unseasoned.
So,
I get
so
it.
in the season terminal, you are gonna have the season selection tab up on the top of the screen, like you see here.
Yes.
And then you will be able to pick and choose between the 5 seasons that are that we have been making, and you have also an option to play an unseasoned version.
Yes.
So the way it works is that when you start the game, you will probably be on season 5, right? And then when you play missions and do stuff, you will earn performance points, and those performance points will be filled into the season 5 performance pass, right? Then if you go in here and you change to, say, season 2, well, then suddenly...
This is going to be
you
big
earn
for
will
me
be
since I switched
into
platforms and have to do everything again.
performance pass.
Quick point though, that when you switch to season 2, if you've played it before, actually your previous progress on the season has been saved. We've actually saved the progress, everyone's progress up from season 1 onwards. So you will come back to that season wherever you left it. So also for people who haven't completed some of the previous seasons, this makes
This
it
is going to be. I'm going to have a lot. to
And
do.
actually, another thing I just want to also bring your attention to out there is that, as you know, after every season, we take all the cosmetics that have been in a season pass, or in the cosmetic tree, and we take them and we just place them in different places in DRG where you can get them after the season, like in the cargo crates of the store or as cosmetic matrix cores or lost helmet. And with us introducing this system, we have taken all those cosmetics and moved them back into the season pass. Our cosmetic trees.
where they belong.
Yeah. So then maybe you are wondering, what if I I got a hat from a cosmetic tree, and then and it was placed in season 2, and now I'm playing season 2, and I'm reaching the point where I get the hat. Well, then you reach that point, and instead you get some credits.
Yeah.
That's the solution, right? So you everything you have gotten, you still own it. We're not taking it away from you. But when you are then replaying an old season, well, then you will encounter cosmetics that you already own, and then you get credits instead.
Exactly. And actually, another thing that this does, because as we've been doing seasons and going from season 1, 2, 3, 4, whenever we would finish a season, we would take all the cosmetics from that season pass, and we would put it into existing sources like cargo crates, like cosmetic cores. And by season 3, and onwards, that started to bloat those systems. So actually, what we're doing here is now, by taking that out, we are removing that bloat. So now getting cosmetics that are only obtainable from a cargo crate becomes much easier for those that
That's true. That's a good
wanted
way to
those,
think
right?
about it.
definitely.
You don't have so many. Whereas if you want something specifically from, I don't know, season 2, or season 1, you can then go to that season's performance path
And work towards it.
and work towards it. Yeah, exactly.
And another little thing we have done is that if you have been playing 2,000 hours of Deep Rock Galactic and you have been completed and drained all season passes, and you're thinking, oh, it's boring to get a cargo crate, well, I got good news for you, because we are adding more cosmetics into all the things that we are now moving stuff out of. So there'll be new stuff for you to get in the cargo crate, cosmetic course store, and so on.
Yeah.
I don't have a full.
So new
overview,
cosmetics
but
as well.
Yeah, there will be
every single source gets
everything
something.
will get something new, right? So yeah. Do we have anything else to say on reactivating old seasons? Otherwise, guys, if you're watching this and you have questions regarding them, let's try to answer them when we have a run through.
I think I'll just do one thing, and something that we mentioned before, but I think it's something that people probably think about a lot. So we've been trying to make the system so that players can play together no matter what season they have selected. So the idea here is that if I'm hosting a game on Season 5 and Mikkel is currently running through Season 2, if Mikkel joins me, then any XP that he earns while playing with me is simply going to his season.
Nice.
And
That's
he's
awesome.
able to join me. Like if you go to the server list, you will see all the games across the different seasons. The main difference is actually happening in the chances of different kind of season events. So of course, when playing season 3, for example, it is the meteor events that are the most likely to be happening.
Sid, I think he's answering your question.
For example, if you are on season 3, for you meteor events are script. Whereas for me, who's on another season, for me meteor events are instead giving XP, which is still feeding into the performance pass because XP is converted into performance points. But again, the only time you need to play in your own season is when you are trying to specifically get the script you get from seasonal events, which isn't even most of the script.
Yeah, so the script hunting is where you probably would like to play on your season. But
That makes sense. The specific script.
Freedom in picking and choosing and progressing.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on. Then we have this section, and it's
actually now you can. Oh man, you can see how many times people have voted past legendary.
Feel could be carry its own headline.
I love how they chose 4.
Here.
Oh, you guys can't see. Hold on.
And the first thing is promotion tracker.
Yes. So some of you may have seen this actually on a mod, and for anyone who doesn't know, you can promote your dwarves after they're at level 25. And you can do that many times, and as you do that, you then get promotion levels, and you get
stars.
You get stars, exactly, in different materials. And the final one is 3 red stars.
Yeah.
And but you can promote after that, and lots of people have done many times. And so
we were not tracking it.
Well,
we're not showing that you have
promoted. We weren't showing
it,
but we actually have been tracking it.
We have been tracking it. So now we're actually showing how many times you have promoted after.
Man, the number of 4-digit numbers that I feel like I'm about to see are insane.
And that will then stay there.
Yeah. So you start like the first time you promote after having 3 stars, you go 1.
Exactly.
And then you go 2.
Yeah. And this, of course, is kind of infinite. And the idea there is also to make it so that, like for some people who feel like they want to complete something, the completion still is 3-star ready.
Yeah.
And for those that want to keep going, that's available like this.
And shout out to the brilliant people who choose the numbers here.
The funniest numbers.
The funniest numbers in the world.
The funniest numbers.
All right. Then another new thing is new anomalies and warnings. And I'll take the anomalies thing. You can take the warning.
Let's do that.
The first one is blood sugar. And in this one, there are some toxins in the atmosphere, and they are turning blood from in the box into sugar, red sugar.
That's very nice.
Sadly, that toxins is hurting the dwarves. So when you're playing with this anomaly, you're constantly taking damage, constantly craving sugar. And then you kill enemies, they drop red sugar, and you get red sugar. Yeah. So balancing, you suddenly is quite.
Oh, okay. So you get a red sugar addiction. That's funny.
Looking at box like of food, maybe.
Completely, and I mean it does change how you play because combat becomes different. Combat becomes actually a source of healing.
Yeah. So you want to kill enemies and get the red sugar from them.
Yes, exactly.
You can find. Ooh,
then the next one is pretty simple. It's a secret secondary, which means that, well, you will go into a mission and you will have 2 secondaries. This is a different.
Does this mean we get
incentive,
more
the optional,
payout
right?
too?
So you don't necessarily have to
sorry.
complete them, but if you do, you'll get rewarded
Yeah,
accordingly.
so it's a very
Uh,
soft modification to the mission that you can choose to engage with, at which point mission time gets extended, but you get more
Myself back
payout,
up here.
Mhm.
or don't.
And then we come to the 2 warnings.
Yeah, so I'll go through those. First one, duck and cover. What's happening
Or
there is that
ranged enemies.
we are biasing the enemy pools that are selected for each mission towards enemies that have ranged attacks. So now there's more. You're more likely to get the acid spitters, the shooting variants. Of
Again,
Noctera,
gunner value is going up
uh,
with this
and
insanely.
stuff like that, so that you have to pretty much engage at a longer distance and potentially use cover.
And duck.
And ebonite,
Well, you can't
ebonite
duck with DRG.
glyphids are
But
showing
the
up.
dwarf, you're so short anyway, so you
Exactly.
don't need to duck.
Yeah.
Wow.
And number 2 is Ebonite Outbreak. And if you remember, of course, many of you know this, but some of you who are new or may not, we have a machine event where these Ebonite infected glyphids, and pretty much what that means is that their skin has kind of turned to rock. And what that actually also means is that they are impervious to all damage except for your pickaxe. And other sources of melee type damage. We have a few of those in the game, but guns do nothing. And what is happening in this warning is that there are some of these infected enemies with the Ebonite infection that are coming in to the mission. So as you're playing, they are part of the spawns of the enemies. Though there is something also happening with this anomaly that lets you have your power attack ready more often.
Berserker perk, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, then as small quality of life feature here is the cosmetic filtering. And it is just a system that we have implemented. So if you are sitting on a ton of cosmetics, you
Oh
can now go in
my
here and sort it.
goodness.
And what we see
This
here in the images,
is
yeah, here you can see,
incredible.
ads, I think, is the category where we have most
From DLC.
of the
Oh my
cosmetics in. Yeah.
goodness.
And
the most
yeah,
filters.
and you can go in here and filter them.
This is
to
so
your delight,
nice.
to your-
I love this.
So yeah, so that's
so
it.
much.
And then we also have
Company
a
approved.
little feature here on the randomize button, which is that you can turn off festive and just see the company approved
Wow.
cosmetics, making it a little bit more likely that you actually make a dwarf that is not silly but really cool when you press that button.
Yeah. You can also
That's
go the other
actually
way, though.
really
You can also go
cool.
the other way, and then if it is Halloween and you just wanna dress up,
That's such a good
Um,
choice.
All right, next up. This is I mean, it's not a really big thing, but it's something that we've been wanting to do for a while.
definitely.
And path overlays. So, yeah, path, by the way, stands for player affliction. So whenever something happens to the player that kind of stays on them, we often show it with a screen overlay, such as your shield taking damage, or you're on fire, or
I think the classic one is you take damage, right, and you see blood splatter on your
Yep,
screen.
that's
right?
another
so
one.
that is the most classic one. We have a bunch of those besides the whole
Yeah.
taking damage, which is
Yeah.
shield, and
Yeah,
glue, and
web spitters,
acid,
web,
and web
all that
spitters.
stuff.
But, yeah. So and all those have gotten
Yeah.
an overhaul.
yes.
Whoa.
Next
then
one
there's
is the new cave formations.
Yeah.
New caves!
That is yeah, we are adding a bunch of new cave formations.
Nice.
to
I've been wanting
whole,
this for a while.
Exploration of Mines of Foxes fresh.
Yes. And there's quite a few.
quite a few.
I think there's over 20. I don't remember the exact
No.
number.
Over 20?
We're
That's
still
a lot.
finalizing which ones are going in and which ones are getting cut.
Mhm.
Again, because making caves for DRG that fit in is not as
That's
easy
really
as-
cool, though.
No,
I
it's
like
not
that.
trivial at all, and so we're only choosing the ones that we think fit
Yeah.
in well. But still, that ends up being quite a big chunk compared to the existing pool. So
Yeah.
you're definitely gonna, as you
Gonna
play,
experience this, yeah,
you're gonna
definitely,
experience these,
definitely,
yes.
definitely. Then another thing is
Yes.
we are adding a new phase to the Omeran fight.
New
And
what?
I think we learned an important lesson when we did the caretaker fight, right? Which is that making some variants in these boss fights will just keep it fresh, and we don't need that much.
No.
And for the Omeran fight, we had two attacks. We had the
Yeah, the
floating
rock.
rocks that
Yeah.
is being hit onto the redder, and then we have the laser beaming
Yeah.
rocks. And what we're doing now is we are adding a third attack, and that means that when we are having this fight, we can pick a random sequence and add 2 of them, and then there's one you're not getting, and then.
Oh, okay. I like that. It's
And
gonna also shake up escort missions.
So talk about what it is
Yeah,
doing.
so the new one is that the Amaran is going to try to trap the dwarves with kind of these rock crystal claws that kind of come out and surround the dwarf, putting him into a little rock prison.
A rock fin.
That's gonna be interesting.
Oh.
You
But
tried.
and compared to the other ones, where normally the Reda is the main target, here we are targeting the dwarves specifically to disrupt the players from what they're normally doing during the Amaran fight, which is protecting the Reda and usually either killing the enemies around or.
Sid,
trying
what they
to
said is
out-DPS,
it's still going to
the
be
rocks,
phase 2 and
stuff like
4,
that. So here
but
is
it's just going to be
you're the
randomized.
target,
So you could
and,
get this, and then
when you are
the
selected,
spikes, or you
are, of
could get
course,
the
told this,
floating
there
rocks
is a
and
tell,
this.
and
You'll
then,
get 2, but you won't
can
get
try
all
to,
3.
get away so that you're not
Similar to the
grabbed,
caretaker, how
or,
sometimes you get turrets, you get
especially important
drones, you
if
get
you're on
phase
the Reda, if you're
bombs,
next to the
but
Reda,
you'll never
fixing her,
get any of
You
them.
need to get away because if these rocks try to come up to grab you and hit the Reda instead, they will damage the Reda.
Yeah. So no more nesting on the Reda.
No, at least not indiscriminately.
No. So
And-
that's it. I mean,
yeah.
and
Just
we're
want to say
Rock and
quickly with
Stone
these,
King.
so they are rocks, so then you have to carve yourself out,
Yeah.
and your friends can carve you out as well.
Yeah.
Driller will
so
just be able to
taking
bust
kind of that
himself
dwarf
out
of the
easily.
equation for a few seconds.
That's kind of cool. I didn't expect this change.
Then another thing that we have
maintenance.
seen is that when we introduced the weapon maintenance system in one of the maintenance updates that we were doing, we saw that you guys were taking, were really liking this new system, and that's why
Very
we have
good system.
decided to add not just 1 paint job, weapon paint job, but 3 paint jobs into the pool. So there will be more for you to work towards here.
Oh, really?
When season 5
That looks like an
all
all-silver
right.
one, and that looks really cool. Okay.
No, and I think just very quickly, a great thing about the weapon maintenance system is that unlike a lot of our other progression systems, this one incentivizes players to play with things other than their preferred weapons, right? So if maybe you always like to play with the minigun, well, now there's a reason for you to play with other guns to be able to unlock.
And it's sort of
skins
like
for them.
pushing you out of your comfort zone, right?
Exactly.
And I really like that as well. Yeah. It also makes you experience the whole game.
Yeah.
This is also super cool.
There's a lot of guns in the game.
There's a lot of guns in the game. Yeah. All right, but let's move on. So we're about to wrap up this walkthrough of season 5. Just want to say, bring out some highlights here that we
Keynote
haven't talked
reveal,
about,
release
but
date
that
reveal.
we will talk and share with you guys
Season
out there.
event
In the
teasers,
coming
narrated
future
trailer,
before
and
season
more.
5 launches. Obviously, we are coming with an Armor DLC. Gonna be
As
super
always.
cool. But it's great.
It's
We
crazy.
will show it to you when we're ready. Obviously, we have a new key art for season 5. We will have an announcement of the release date. The season event that we didn't talk about with the
I mean, we
core
know
story,
it's
we'll
June.
reveal
It's
that,
gotta be
and
like
obviously there will be a
mid-June.
narrated trailer summing it all up together and having a mission control tell you how it is.
Yes.
Not me and
MC talking to us again.
and obviously we are gonna have more features than we have talked about here. Oh, we already have a lot of more features.
As always.
As always, but this was what we selected as things we wanted to share with
And
you.
this is, of course, we're showing the main meat of season 5.
It is.
I mean-
It is the besides the season event. This is the main meat.
Yeah.
But maybe now is the time for. You probably have a ton of questions out there, so I think we should take some.
I'm ready.
Sure. All right, are you ready for the first one?
Yes.
So, will the new difficulty settings also be available for lower hazards? For example, hazard 3 with enemy ++ settings.
We discussed this,
Yes.
and we expected this question to come. I mean, obviously because we have been considering it ourselves. But the answer is no. The reason why we don't want that is we want to have in the community the ability to talk about difficulties and feel the different difficulties. And this is a thing that is really blurring what is a difficulty. So that is why we are not.
I feel like
doing
that makes
it. I
sense.
think
Because
if
also you
are
don't
playing
want
Hazard
newer
2 and you
players to
want
go
a
through
bigger
that level
challenge,
of difficulty
move to
that
Hazard 3,
quickly.
Move to Hazard 4, move to Hazard 5. I think that is how we have designed these jumps. The jumps between the difficulties is actually just, or not just, but they are mainly playing around with the mechanics that we are tweaking for Hazard 5+, right?
Exactly.
So So you're already getting it. Just go up a difficulty.
Yeah, and speaking of Hazard 5 Plus, does adjusting each difficulty setting change the hazard bonus as well?
It certainly does. We don't. This is something. The Hazard 5 Plus is because you want the challenge.
Yes.
It is not because you want to harvest resources. So we are giving you some percentage. I don't know exactly the number, but we are giving you a higher hazard bonus by selecting these.
Yeah, this is for when you've already gotten everything.
No, management will recognize your efforts, but.
And how does this show on the server list? Will they be visible before you join somebody off the server list?
Yes. You will be able to see that you're joining a Hazard 5 Plus mission, and maybe even we'll be able to make it so you could see
while they're answering questions. I'll be
are
right back,
applied as
guys.
well.
I gotta use the bathroom.
We're still finalizing that part. But again, this is part of the reason why we don't want to just spread this across all the hazards. It's gonna make a soup.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So on topic of the new Stalker enemy, will the laser pointer be able to highlight the Stalker?
Yes.
How does that work?
Yes.
You can, and
just
actually,
like the menace, right?
Actually, if you highlight the Stalker with a laser pointer, it will come out of its camouflage.
Cool. Oh, nice. All right, now moving into some of the more mission-specific screenshots. The extraction boots, are they like the current jet boots but longer, or do you mean like a mini cinematic where the dwarf grabs a vertical cable and gets blasted to the top at breakneck speed?
No cinematic.
No cinematic. You're staying in control, but we do. I mean, we are experimenting with these things right now, but we need to do a tweak on how the jet boots that you already can get in the game right now. We need to do a tweak on those for this to work.
These are definitely more powerful in the sense of how far you can go and all that stuff.
We call them extraction jet boots or Mark II jet boots. R&D has been tinkering with them and made them better.
Maybe they'll explode if you use them too much, though.
Speaking of explosions, Mike, can bulk detonators spawn during the elevator phase?
So right now they can, and that's
oh boy,
exciting. We're figuring out exactly if there are, or there definitely are some, and bulk detonators are an example of this. It's a balance between which enemies are kind of
problematic,
overwhelmingly a bad idea gameplay-wise, and which, however, kind of make it spicy but still fun. So we almost certainly are going to have kind of like a no-go list for certain enemies, but exactly who that is and if
Stingtails and Septics might be on that list.
100% sure. No Dreadnoughts though.
It's like we still need to test it, right? I think when we were doing the salvage mission, or we did that, right? And then we were introducing the bulk detonator.
Yes.
I think we were like considering can bulk detonators spawn on the salvage missions, and we just thought, well, yes, they can. It's just a challenge, and obviously you need to deal with the bulk detonator before it reaches the defense zone.
Yeah.
So
we do actually have on salvage. We don't allow bulk detonators if you're solo.
No. So, anyways, this is a little bit too early to go into specific on these things. We're still tinkering with the structure and getting everything in place. And normally there are all small things that is happening underneath the on the hood of the game that we need to do. So,
there's a lot of fine tuning and figuring stuff out, including after we go to experimental.
Yeah. 100%.
Cool. Do you guys have any plans for an Elite Deep Dive Plus option that uses a similar framework as the Hazard 5 Plus stuff?
We don't have any plans for that. I mean, but interesting idea.
So the Elite Deep Dive actually already has the final stage of the Elite Deep Dive is harder than Hazard 5.
Yes.
So it is already more challenging than Hazard 5. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, but we don't have any plans for like specific customization of the difficulty.
No.
Actually, I want an endless deep dive. That's what I want.
Specifically, don't have difficulty customization. No. That's why you don't select. Oh, I want to do the deep dive on Hazard 2. The deep dives are seeded. There's something that you can try multiple times, try to learn the layout, and that allows people to actually play at a higher difficulty than they normally do in a purely like procedural cave.
The deep dives is something where we think the community can come together and talk about what is this week's deep dives. It was super shitty, or that was super difficult, or that were, I don't know, whatever. But each week's deep dive possesses its own challenges, and then the community can talk about how to deal with that. Obviously, if we were allowing people to change difficulty, that would be gone.
Yeah, I think that's not what deep dives are.
No.
Will heightened senses work on the Stalker?
So the thing is, I mean, the Stalker itself, of course, not the grabby part of heightened senses, but the heightened senses giving you a warning, sure.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm not sure you mentioned it, but the Stalker also has a specific backstab ability, right?
Well, it's not.
Or I mean, it breaks your shield and.
Yes, exactly. Its
Yeah.
attack is
just
a
not
special
sure if we
electric
mentioned
attack
that.
that will.
I think you said it, but yes,
Yeah,
I
okay,
mean,
cool. Yeah, I
but
may have
it
just
is
missed it.
pulling down your shield and jamming it or something
Exactly.
like
So
that.
it actually
Very
doesn't come back
interesting.
for
Yeah.
a while. A
Which
few
is-
seconds, but that matters in combat.
Actually, really punishing, especially on
Yes.
higher hazards.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so we have Molly, we have Doretta, we have Betsy, we have Bosco. What is the official name of the Drillavator to join the force?
It is not a robot. It's a
No.
Drillavator.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It is not a smart machine. It is.
It's like
is
a
just
platform.
A Drillavator.
I mean that name was so dumb that I mean it's just, but also so spot on.
That name is gold. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not dumb at all.
It's the Drillavator.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, right? It couldn't. I mean, someone said it. It couldn't be called anything else after that.
I'm just digging for questions real quick. Will there? When will there be an expansion of Space Rig 17?
That is a good question, but we have no plans of that. We are whenever we are doing a season, we are like dressing it in the theme of the season, and that will happen again.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I mean, I think just want to say in terms of expansions, that kind of for us has been happening more organically. So when, for example, we introduced the jet boots, and then Jetty boot kind of happened.
Oh yeah.
Then we had to create a space for
when we
it.
made
Oh. Out of memory. What?
Season 5.
We have way
There we
more
go.
points than perks, new
Yeah.
abilities, passives, and actives.
and
question
I
marks.
got I don't know, good and bad news. You're gonna get way more perks points because after season 5, because we're doing a new mission, we're doing new stuff,
New anomalies, new warnings.
new warnings, right? And they will all
of course,
come with
yeah.
milestones for you to get and perk points to acquire. So
Yes.
you're gonna be sitting on way more perk points, and yeah. So that we know. That's the only thing I can
Yeah, I don't know
say.
what
We
that was. That was weird.
System
That's
is
fair
up
enough, yeah.
for an overhaul, but it's not gonna happen now.
Will the new Omron phase extend the time it takes to drill to the Heartstone?
No, it's the same, and the mission will not be longer. It will just be more varied in the Omron fight.
I do like
So
that.
yes, again, currently the Armored fight is aside from the enemy composition, the actual like phases are identical every fight.
Mhm.
By having now an extra phase that we can swap in, that will no longer be the case.
No, so imagine that you will have to, when you're fighting it, you will have the meteor, the flying rocks, and then you will have the new attack.
Exactly.
Or you will have the laser beams and the new attack.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all the combinations with those three you can come up with, which
Cool.
is not that many.
How will the season challenges change in season 5? Will there be new season challenges?
Maybe.
Oh.
We're still looking into that, so maybe. I
Nice.
can put some words into this. The challenges I think is a bit limited for us to do. We are right now in the challenges. We are giving you always like 2 options, not to sort of like dictate play specifically this, because I think that is what the assignments are doing. They are directing you to specific missions, and with the challenges, we want you to work towards something, but have it really open.
Yes.
Right. Not play with one specific character. You can play with 2 characters. Right. Always giving you options. Obviously, having this approach to the challenges limits what we can actually do with them. So
Fair enough.
Yeah, cool. Will the Omron stone grab thing, will that reach into the air to catch zipliners and scouts?
No,
Oh.
that is
Okay.
not. The air is safe from that one, but you have to be in a place where you can, of course, protect the Retta.
Yeah.
It's true.
Will you be able to pet the Drillavator?
Oh,
I
a
mean,
little bit disappointed with
Well,
that.
No, I don't think so.
No
again,
Drillavator.
the
Freddy.
Drillavator is not a character in
It's
the way
not
the
at
Retta
all.
is.
Right.
You
That
wouldn't
makes
be able to
sense.
pet it as much as the drop pod.
Driller in the Rocky Mountain. Beer is going to be blessed. Yeah, no, I agree.
Um,
That's true.
Will there be new achievements in this season?
No.
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 In regards to the Ebonite enemies, are there going to be new Ebonite enemies, like for example, Ebonite McTerrors or an enemy that spits rocks at you?
So
Nope.
if you think about it, an Ebonite McTerra be
The-
really horrible because you need to kill it with your pickaxe.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
I don't know how you would do that with a flying enemy.
The scout would be
Sounds
the
like a
only
me
person.
problem.
So
Scout would be the only person to
no,
be able to
I mean,
handle it.
Ebonite infection can only happen to I don't know what's called land-based
It is
enemies.
specifically happening to
Ground-based
Glyphid,
enemies.
and we have the small Ebonite
Yeah,
Glyphid,
the
which is all
grunts
the
and the
grunt
Praetor. I
variants
think that's
kind
all
of
you need
becoming
for
infected, and then we have the
Ebonites
large
because they're
Ebonite
already
Glyphid, which
tough
is the
enough to
large,
kill as is.
Glyphids being infected.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. I think that's it.
All right,
Cool.
but I think then maybe we should wrap it up and
Yes.
just say that it has been a pleasure sharing all these information with you guys out there. I guess there's a lot to digest. I can say that we have Aaron sitting over here. He is writing stuff together based on today's stream. And we will be sharing, I don't know, what's called like a sum up.
I don't know. What's it called?
Summary, thank you.
It's called a summary.
Summary.
Summary, thank you. So we will be posting some summaries and some more informations in on our Steam and the normal channels. So
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in.
yeah, but have a nice one.
Yeah, Rock and Stone.
Rock and Stone.
All right. Well. So. That was a lot. That was a lot to go through. How are you guys feeling? How's everybody doing? Is everybody feeling good? Wow. So, first initial thoughts. Say hello, Just Jork. How are you doing? First initial thoughts. How I think initially that they cooked so much. This is so much better than season 4 in almost every possible way that you could imagine. They are delivering so much, like in terms of just everything that's happening. We'll go through it piece by. I'm definitely gonna be making something for this, so we're gonna go a little bit into it, but this is blowing every other season out of the water in terms of just what we're getting. So theme wise, love it. Love the title, Drilling Deeper, fantastic. The overall theme around Rogue Core, of course, is fantastic. The new mission type, I'm really interested to like go through this particular mission because it feels like it's kind of a combination of a lot of different things. It feels like a mixture of like egg hunt mixed with escort mixed with like there's a lot going on, and I'm very interested to see how this particularly works out. So the mission type, I think, at least at a first glance and seeing how it goes, I think is great. I'm worried. The only real worry that I have is that people are going to have the same sort of feel as they do with industrial sabotage missions, how they're kind of long, but we'll see how that goes. I love the idea of like calling in stuff from orbit. I think that that's a really cool. I always love that. So finding these crystals, marking them, and then the Drillivator section is just going to be insane. I was not I thought it was just going to be a case of, okay, you find the rocks and then, all that kind of stuff. But then they're just like, yeah, then you go down into this massive deposit of Morkite and crazy other stuff. And it just looks absolutely insane. I think this is, if they do this right, this might become my new favorite mission type. Just based off of what I'm seeing, this looks incredible. The seasonal objective, I have absolutely no idea exactly how it's going to work. They said it's in the rock, but they didn't really say anything else. The new map generations, yes, we'll get to that, but that was fantastic. I'm very excited to see how this is going to work. The new enemies, how do you guys feel about the new enemies? Because I think at a first glance, I think that they're probably going to, they seem to be a little bit more refined than the ones we got for season 4. The shotgun Spitballer looks interesting. I don't think it's going to be super duper oppressive because I can't imagine it's going to be like, because it's stationary. There's only so much it can do to you. What's the new mission? The new mission is the deep scan mission. You go in, you try to find these resonance crystals by like tuning into a frequency. Oh, you guys can't see because it's blocking. My camera's blocking. You see this little resonance thing? It tells you how close you are to the crystal itself. Then you have to dig up, find the crystal, mark it, and then after you do that a few times, you call in this big, massive drill elevator, which you ride down, and it just looks absolutely insane. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, at least in my opinion. Let's see here. The shotgun Spitballer looks interesting. This thing, I really want to know how big this is. I wish they could have shown a little bit more scale of this. I imagine it's going to be relatively large, but this is it's similar to the Corlock Tyrant Weed, and I do like where it's going. So overall, I like the idea of this particular enemy. I thought they said that there's going to be. Oh well, then we also got the stealthy boy, the Inviso Bug, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to have mixed opinions about this. I like the idea of an invisible insect. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's definitely going to shake things up. We might be dealing with somewhat similar of a stingtail situation here, but who knows exactly what's going to happen. But I'm very confident. The overclocks, the 3 that we got, look really nice. I really like the idea of the pump action for the Warthog. That looks solid. The mortar rounds look incredible. The firewall, just the Inferno wall is so driller. And the what is it? The March for Death. That I think is going to be a real game changer for the Scout overall. I think that's going to be fantastic. And of course, the new armor, the new cosmetic things. This the 5.1 or the Hazard 5 Plus, I think is going to be fantastic. For people who just want a little bit of an extra challenge. It's so good. I think that it's going to give those people who are craving even more of a difficulty, that sort of itch that